welcome to the Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Hope you enjoy.
Ask this question. So
Oops. Oops. All right. Sorry about that little malfunction. Showing a video before I wanted to. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Good to be here tonight. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Okay. Um, and I hope everybody's doing well. Um, Tonight, I got a topic I want to talk about. And it's a topic that's circulating around. You hear it on the news, whether it's local news, uh, world news. People are talking about the low birth rates, right? And I'm going to talk about the low birth rates in the white community and the black community. Both black and white people are having fewer babies in today's world, okay? And I'm going to talk about why is that. And there's people out there that are afraid. Oh my God, we're not going to reproduce ourselves. We're not going to have enough people for the workforce in our nation. And they're talking about this globally. Okay, America, our birth rates are going down, but it's not just here. It's global. Okay, they're talking about low birth rates in Europe, in Asia, and in Africa too. And black people in America, we got some stats, but it appears that the birth rate in the black community is dropping pretty drastically. Has been for some years, okay? Um, and here's the deal. People aren't having as many children as they used to, okay? And some people will say, well, they think it's because people can't have children. That ain't it at all. It just that in the society we live, most people don't want to have more than one or two children. Okay. And for us to sustain our population, we're going to have like, I think it's like 2.3 kids or something. How do you, I can see how you have two kids, but 2.3, you have a third of a child. I don't know where they get the numbers. So basically, what they're saying is each each couple should have three children to sustain our population, right? On an average. Well, a lot of people are only having one or two children. Okay. That's the norm in our society. And why is that a norm? Why did in the past we had 10, 15 kids, but now we have one or two? Why is that? Is it because we can't have children like we used to? Or is it because society? Is it because of economics? Um, is it because people can't afford to have kids? I don't know. What is it? And you know, I for me, I love children, and I've always wanted to have children. When me and my wife got married, we're excited to have children. We have three children, and that was a blessing to us. But there's some people out there that don't want to have children at all. There's people out there that don't want to get married and just have fun with their life and do their thing. And there's some women out there don't want to have kids because, let's face it, not a situation. There's weak men out there that don't want to provide and protect, and there's men out there that treat their wives not like wives but indentured servants. Okay, I think that's what's really going on. I think because of the cost of living, and I think men not being real men is a part of it. And a lot of women don't want to be ran through the grinder and don't want to have to go 50-50 and then come home, clean up, cook, and take care of the children. Okay. Uh, Without the man's help. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Um, there's several things that are leading to us not having as many children. Okay. And for me, in my opinion, biblically, the Bible tells us to find a wife, get married, be fruitful and multiply. Um, and society's kind of changed from that. Some people don't want to have kids, some do. And when people do, it's like one or two kids. And most people I know don't want to have more than two kids. They just don't, because of the cost of living and because of their careers, and they're trying to build wealth. And, I think that's it in a nutshell. But we're going to watch some videos, and you tell me what you think. Why do you think the birth rates are low? And I think we do need to reproduce ourselves. We do need to have children. Okay. And I'm not saying, and I don't want people to have children recklessly. Okay. Um, People need to have children in a stable environment, in a marriage, when there's a mother and father that could provide a safe space for children to grow and be taken care of. And us as men, we need to do better to provide that for the women in our community, in our country, and you know, get it to where women will want to marry us and have children with us. Okay. But a lot of people are out there, thinking about themselves, men out there playing the field, having relations with different women, and don't want to settle down and have children. Okay. Um, but I mean, there's so many things wrapped up in this. Okay. And my thing is for our nation, uh, I think we need to protect our nation. I think we need to love our nation and love everybody that's in our nation. Okay. We're in this together. This is our home. This is our country. Okay. Um, and I think the best way we take care of our country is to treat the women in our country the way they deserve to be treated. We treat our wives, like a beautiful blessing, like a treasure. We don't treat them like indentured servants, like, okay, well, this is the woman's job. You do that. No. Uh, if you're the only income and you're a man and your income is it, I get it. You got to go to work and the wife's got to take care of the kids. But if you're in a 50-50 situation where most people, both the husband and wife work, let's be honest, uh, as men, you're going to have to take those duties and help take care of the children, help help clean up the house, and those old school ideas that's what women do and this is what men do. When you're both working, uh, you got to handle it together. Okay. And we seem to fail to realize that. A lot of people think because they're men, they deserve a wife, and the woman's duties is her problem. No, it's not that way. But let's talk about the low birth rates. Okay. And let me say this before I get started. I think our nation, I love our nation, and I think America is an awesome country. It's not perfect by no means whatsoever. But I think those of us that live in this country, I think we need to take care of each other. And I think we need to value women more as men. I think we have to have families the right way where you work as a team. Okay. And you know, I wanna I wanna have a family. I wanna, be fruitful and multiply, like the Bible tells us. Have children, grandchildren. That's a blessing. Um, and I would hope that our nation would have some accountability and get our house in order and go back to the traditional nuclear family, a man, a woman, and children. Okay, and but it's an individual choice whether you want to have children or not. That's up to you. I'm not going to vilify people that don't have children. That's their business. Okay. But a lot of times we don't have as many children is because there's a lot of weak men and a lot of women are getting tired of waiting for the man to get it right and waiting for the man to do the right thing and be a good husband and father. There are good husbands and fathers out there. Don't get me wrong. There are good men out there doing the right thing. But a lot of times, good men are too far and few between. And the women in our community got to deal with it. And it's not right. Okay. But that's my opinion. Let's see some videos and what people have to say. And look, you let me know. And what's the Roadrunner solution to the low birth rate is for men to do the right thing and for men to open up their options, swirl to investment. Okay. That's part of the solution in my mind. I think we need to do better as men, number one. That's number one. We need to stop blaming women for societal problems. Okay. Yeah. And some people say, well, women do this and that. Yeah, women contribute to bad things too. But overall, men, we're in a patriotical society, right? So who's in charge? And when it goes bad, whose fault is it? And if you blame women, you're weak as a man, in my opinion, because you don't have the intestinal fortitude to take accountability for what you did wrong. Okay. But anyway, we'll talk more about this. Okay. Let me show this. Okay. This is CBSN. Okay. And they're going to talk about the low birth rates. I believe this is Arizona channel, but let's continue.
Black women in the U.S. are at a much higher risk of losing their babies, according to a new study. The report, Fighting at Birth, Eradicating the Black-White Infant Mortality Gap, finds the infant mortality rate for black women is the highest of any ethnic group. Even factors like education, age, and socioeconomic status fail to impact the racial disparity. Keisha Bentley Edwards is a co-author of that report. She's also an assistant professor of general internal medicine at Duke University.
Okay, let me stop there. This video is talking about the birth mortality rate with black women and why it's at a high level. Okay, and this can contribute to the low birth rates, in the black community. And if the black women have a white husband, that would include the white community, right? Or do when we procreate with black people, we all turn black? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But it talks about the birth immortality rate in the black community. Okay. And this can be a contributing factor. Okay, let me rewind it a little bit. I just want to explain what this video is. But let's go ahead and play it real quick.
Finds the infant mortality rate for black women is the highest of any ethnic group. Even factors like education, age, and social status fail to impact the racial disparity. Keisha Bentley Edwards is a co-author of that report. She's also an assistant professor of general internal medicine at Duke University, and she joins me now from Durham, North Carolina. Keisha, thank you so much for being with us. Can you explain why that infant mortality rates are highest for black women? I mean, we do know that, unfortunately, about 24% of black women in the U.S. live at the poverty line or below. But this isn't just about poverty, correct?
Okay, she's saying that, it might be part poverty, right? 24% of black women living at the poverty level. That's what this woman said, right? And could that be a contributing factor? Of course, it could be. And I think poverty has an impact on our birth rates, right? Women that are in poverty are starting to look at it and say, why have children if we can't afford them? And there's contraception, different birth control, and we have the technology not to have children. Okay, and I think in the past there wasn't that technology. You have sexual relationships with people, you impregnate people. Okay, but now we can control that. Okay, and that has an impact. And poverty has, and they're talking about the immortality birth rates, right? Poverty plays a big key on this because when you're in poverty, a lot of times people aren't as healthy. They're not getting the nutrition they need. People that are poor usually eat more unhealthy food, more fast food because fast food is cheap and it's convenient, right? Wealthy people eat fast food too. And that's a big problem in the United States. We're eating a bunch of garbage. But if you're in poverty, you're a lot of times you're buying the cheapest thing you can find. And a lot of times it's not the most healthy. Could that contribute? Yeah, yes and no. But anyway, let's continue.
Correct. That poverty was what people pointed to, especially in the last, I'd say, 30 or 40 years, actually even longer than that, as a contributing factor for black women having higher infant mortality rates. However, as we've had war on poverty initiatives as well as healthcare initiatives, these disparities, although the infant mortality rates has decreased, the disparity has stayed the same, and for some groups is actually widened. And so that's what's causing so much concern.
And what's especially sort of disturbing or interesting about this study is that it finds that mothers with doctorates, the highest level of education possible, are more than twice as likely to lose their babies than white women. Why does the rate rise for Black women with higher education levels?
Yeah, it's amazing. I was actually surprised that it was that high. I knew that the disparity widened as education levels increase for Black women. And really that is a big part of the question. And once you take away age as a factor, you take away marital status as a factor, this gap still remains.
See that chart, guys? It says the infant mortality rate by race, right? Okay. The blue is non-Hispanic Black and non-Hispanic white. Okay. So Black and white. I don't know why they didn't just say Black and white. They have to put non-Hispanic. I guess the pure white, the pure Black, whatever. But the Black infant mortality rate is much higher than white. And why is that? Okay. Some people say, well, it's white supremacy and, it's racism. That's the first thing a lot of people go to. Is that what's causing it? I don't know. I don't think it is, but I think it has to do with poverty. I think it has to do with diet. I think it has to do with stress. Okay. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a doctor and I haven't studied this except, looking for the data. But something's going on here. And Black women are at a disadvantage from all women. Okay. When it comes to poverty, when it comes to out of wedlock birth rates. Okay. And if you're alone having a child, I think that can have an impact on your health, your stress level. Okay. Believe it or not, being stressed out and dealing with hardships can affect your health. Yes, it can. Okay. But this is something that's going on, and this is something we need to look at, right? But it is a thing, and I think our morality, how we treat women as men, and women being left alone with children, I think that puts them in a bad situation, and it will affect their health. But I've seen studies about Black women having problems with giving birth and stuff, and all women. There are women in all groups that face that. Okay, but infant mortality rate is the highest with Black women, and why? Okay, man, I think there's so many contributing factors that you know but I think it's environment. I think it's stress. I think it's bad diet. Um, I think those add to that. Um, a woman that comes from a broken home usually isn't as healthy as a woman that comes from a secure family environment. Okay. And it could be the hospitals that Black women go to. Maybe they're not the best hospitals either. Maybe they don't have the best doctors. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just kind of brainstorming, why is this happening? Okay. Or maybe it's white supremacy trying to hurt Black women. I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's white supremacy. And I don't think that's it. I think it's other contributing factors. Um, but what do I know? I'm just looking at the data. But anyway, let's continue.
And the one thing.
Oh, and let me say this too. I would say this to women. Look, if you can control it, which you can, you got to have discipline. And if you don't have children till you're married, till you're in a safe environment, that would be the best thing, where you could get plenty of rest and be in your best health and have a man that's going to take care of you, protect and provide for you, make sure you're getting the nutrition you need, the rest you need, and be happy, because happiness does help out health, believe it or not. Lack of vitamin D, oh, I think that's part of it too, because of many chronic diseases. Okay. And we need vitamin D, right? We get it, from the sun. And a lot of people talk about how black people have a lot of melanin, and in a tropical environment or a desert environment, they do much better than other groups of people because they have more melanin, more protection from the sun, right? But you put black people in a colder environment where there's not as much sunshine, and sometimes this can hurt black people, okay? The, Having too much melanin in their environment, and where they're not getting as much vitamin D as they need, you know? And what do you think? White people come from colder climates. We don't get as much sun, so we absorb it because we don't have as much melanin. We absorb more of the rays, where black people deflect it because they're in a tropical environment where it protects them from the sun rays, right? Because they need that protection where they're at. Um, where when they're in a colder environment, we need to absorb as much sun rays as we get, so lighter skin absorbs it more. Now, if you're in a tropical environment, that can be harmful, right? Anyway, but think about that, okay? There's a lot of black people um, having lack of vitamin D. There's white people too, but black people, a lot of times, the melanin in their skin, which is an awesome protector, in a certain situation or environment, it can kind of harm them in a way. You know what I'm saying? Um, but just some food for thought to think about that. And vitamin D is a beautiful thing, because what does it do? It fights off different diseases, different cancers. Okay. Vitamin D is, the sun does more good than bad. People think that white people that get in the sun, they're going to explode and get skin cancer and die. No. Okay. Uh, the sun helps white people too. And believe it or not, we do have a protection. We do have some melanin that protects our skin, but black people have more of it. And, you know, Corey, what the, a good sex life relieves stress. Okay. All right, Corey. Dr. Corey here. All right. But just food for thought. Okay. Take care of your health. Get blood work done. Okay. Every year I have blood work done. Why do I do it? To see, make sure, my cholesterol levels where it needs to be. Make sure, things ain't going on, you know. And I always say to men, once you get in your 50s and beyond, you need to do blood work more often. Okay. Prostate cancer is a big thing with men. Uh, 1 out of every 2 men will have some kind of prostate issues. Okay. So half of men that live will deal with that. Okay. Just like a lot of women deal with breast cancer, right? You got to make sure you get your testing. Okay. But prostate cancer is a thing that, it's a slow moving cancer. So if you do periodic tests, most likely you're going to catch it before it goes too far. But people that don't take care of their health, a lot of people find out when it's too late. Okay. So do your physical, get your blood work done. I do every year. Okay. And by the grace of God, I haven't had no prostate issues. Okay. And being in my 50s, I gotta watch it. And it's not a racial thing. It's all men. Okay. Just like breast cancer affects all women. But anyway, okay. Just kind of diverted a little bit on health, but think about these things. Okay. And black people, think about the vitamin D. What protects you from the sun rays is beautiful, but in a different environment, it might be a disadvantage. Okay. And, white people, we're the same way. We're in different environments, we thrive. Others, we got to protect ourselves better, right? We're human. Okay. We just think about that. Okay. All right. But let's continue with this video.
That you have to look at is racism, both interpersonal and structural racism, as a contributing factor for these disparities, particularly for people who have higher degrees.
Okay, on all these videos, you're going to hear racism. Well, it contributes, and racism is a part of it. Is that really what's happening? Okay, I've heard people blame low marriage rates in the black community on racism. Now that the birth rates are lower in the black community, it's racism. This and most black women being the most single mother, racism. Okay, and the reason I bring this up is I wish, and I say this with love and humility. Okay, I say to black people, do not use racism as a crutch. Okay, racism ain't the cause of everything that's happening to you. Okay, sometimes black people make bad choices and bad things happen to them, and sometimes racism ain't a part of it. Okay, I think a lot of times black people use that as a crutch. Okay, and when it comes to marriage rates, as far as I know, there ain't no Klan members out there stopping black people from getting married. Now, if I'm wrong, please show me the footage and we'll put it on blast and we'll try to end it. But I have not seen racist white people stop black people from getting married. Okay. And I think a lot of the infant mortality rates, I think a lot of it's from the father not being there. Single mothers having to carry the load. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I can be wrong. Okay, medical racism is a thing. Please don't ignore that. Okay, I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor. Okay, I'm not saying it don't. What I'm saying is it's happening, and why is it? And I don't want to just dismiss it as it's medical racism, because if we do that, then black people are thinking that's what it is. So they won't take care of their health. They won't do what they need to do. Women won't do what they need to do when they're pregnant by having vitamins, by having, having children in a safe environment, and taking the health precautions. Because a lot of times when you just say racism, that's what it is. Okay? Now, I haven't studied it. Maybe there's racism running rapid in the hospitals. I don't know. Okay? But I don't think that's the only thing causing the infant mortality rates. Okay? But I'm not going to say there ain't racism. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying what is causing the problem? And I'm not ignoring racism. I won't do that. But what I'm saying is don't use that as a crutch for everything. Because then when you have an excuse, then it's not your fault. You feel better because it's not your fault. Okay? Racism is not the cause of black marriages' downfall, but medical racism does happen to black women in hospitals, maternally. where medical staff are prejudiced. Okay, I'm sure there's medical people prejudiced towards black women. Okay, but is it big enough to where all the hospitals are doing this? Yeah, you know what? I could see that. Okay, I think there is. Uh, I would believe this statement. Yes, sometimes medical staff ignore black women because they're single mothers. Yeah, they have a bad outlook on black women being single mothers, or and maybe they don't do everything they can for her. Whether when a mother that's married, maybe they have more respect and they work harder and do their job better. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Okay, but I can't say one way or another because I'm not a medical personnel. I don't work in a hospital. But I do know that the infant mortality rates are higher. Okay? But I don't believe it's just racism, and that's what it is, and we found the problem. I think there's a combination of things happening. Okay, and maybe some of the women are on drugs too. And I'm not saying black women are on drugs. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying a little bit here and there can add to different factors. And sometimes in poverty, people resort to substance abuse. Okay, most black women are severely stressed when pregnant and have out of wedlock children. Their stress is through the roof. Okay, I can believe that. Okay, what I'm saying is it could be racism causing this. Okay, I'm sure and I know there's some situations where racism plays a role. I get it. Okay, but there's other factors. And I don't want people to just rely on, oh, okay, this happened to me because it's racism, white supremacy. I Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not dismissing racism, but I don't know how much of it's out there. I don't work in a hospital. Okay, but I've seen hospitals where a lot of the staff are black. I mean, a lot of black people are in the medical field too. It's just not white people running the hospitals either. So, but But there are many factors. Okay, I'm not saying racism don't exist, so that no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't just dismiss it as that's what it is. Okay? Okay. But it's out there. Okay, let's continue.
It takes a toll on you. There's been research on the weathering effect on black women. And you also have to say, what is the price on black women's bodies for being the first in these rooms? When you're the first person in the room, or if you're the only black woman in the room, what stressors are added when you have to deal with those issues?
Because we should note that among white women, the higher the education level, the lower the infant mortality rate. So it would clearly seem to indicate, as you say, that there is a...
Oh, that's interesting. You hear what they said? They're saying that the higher education level for black women, the higher the infant mortality rate. Where white women, it's the opposite. Why is that? Is the white woman being taken better care of than the black woman? Is it that? Is the educated black woman have more stress? Because a lot of times, the marriage rate in the black community is low. So a lot of these highly educated black women are single women or maybe single mothers, and there's more stress added than there is to the white woman. I'm just brainstorming. What is it? What's causing it? Okay. And I'm not going to figure it out tonight. Like I said, I don't work in the medical field. I haven't studied this and went to hospitals and tried to figure it out. So I don't know. Okay. And I could tell you what I think it is, but I might not be right. I might be wrong. Okay. Uh, most white women are married. Yes. And that can eliminate stress right there. Okay. Because if you're in a marriage, okay, um, and especially economically, okay, whether the man's taking care of all the expenses or you have somebody helping you out, it relieves some stress than if you're a single mother by yourself, of course. What's that? Serena Williams is married to a white American man, and she said she dealt with medical racism and her pain levels were ignored until her white husband intervened. Okay, could be. I don't know. Um, you think Serena Williams they wouldn't mess around because she's a celebrity and you know, but I do believe that there are some medical personnel that might not do as much a s- uh, for a single mother than they would for a married woman. Okay, it could be. Um, exactly. So don't get pregnant without being married. That's good advice. Okay, I stand by that. But we're human, right? And let me say this: how many of us would wait till we're married if we didn't have that marriage option? Let me put this in there, okay? Because that's the best advice. Don't have children until you get married, right? But a lot of times, black women, the marriage rate is so low in the black community. What's a black woman supposed to do? Wait till a man finally marries her? A lot of black people get married that do get married later on in life. So you're young and you're a human being and you desire to be with someone of the opposite sex because you have those feelings, you have those desires, whether you're a man or woman. Let's be honest. And if someone ain't going to marry, what are you going to do? And I'm being honest here. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that's an excuse to have children out of wedlock. What I'm saying is we're human. And under those circumstances, most of us would have children out of wedlock. Let's be honest. Okay. And I'd include myself in that. Okay. But I was blessed to have a woman that loves me that I was able to get married when I'm young, so I didn't have children out of wedlock. Okay. But not everybody has that option. Okay. So that is a great advice. And I know Corey didn't mean it in any mean way. He's just saying be responsible. But a lot of times black women don't have that option. Only 26% married. Look, let's be human. Let's we could be judgmental. I could point the finger, hey, I didn't have kids out of wedlock, but you did. Well, I might have had the opportunity to get married where they didn't. Okay. And if I didn't have that opportunity, how would I end up? Okay. We're all sinners. We make mistakes. You point the finger, it comes back at you. Okay. I just want to, because I don't want to shame nobody. I'm just going over this data and seeing why our birth rates are low. Okay. There's no shade on anybody. Okay. Let's continue.
A stressor associated with it. Now, this report also contains policy recommendations. What are some of those?
Well, one of the big issues that we wanted to look at was policies, research, and interventions that focus specifically on black women. So not just, a lot of times these initiatives that are looking to help Black women focus on poverty. However, as our research shows, given educational status, those initiatives that focus on poverty will not reach Black women who are actually vulnerable to adverse birth outcomes. And so we are really pushing for more policies that focus on Black women, as well as having better care for Black women, no matter what their educational status, as far as their maternal care. And the last one is we need to work on discrimination that occurs before, during, and after pregnancy. And so really reinforcing organizations that fight racism in the workplace, in the social settings, and just overall. And we're really calling on allies to back up Black women when you see things aren't going well or that people are being mistreated.
But looking back to sort of policy proposals, how have doctors and lawmakers reacted to previous policy proposals suggesting that doctors focus on helping all Black mothers regardless of income status?
You know, I think that that's something that hasn't really been touched on. Most times when you talk about Black women, there's an assumption that all.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Okay, they're talking about, you know, things to put forward to make sure Black women are safe and not discriminated against based on their income or their situation. And like I said, guys, I can't tell you if this is happening or not. And I'm not going to say it's racism and it's happening. There is racism in everything, okay? But I would say, you know, that don't mean it's in every institution, and it don't mean it happens everywhere. Okay, I believe there's a lot of good hospitals doing the right thing, regardless of race or income. Okay, I don't think it's running rapid. I think there's a pocket of racism within it. I believe that. Um, but I don't want to write it off as just that's what's happening. Um, because we might be missing other things that are happening. Okay. And I really hate to give my opinion on this because I don't know. Like I said, you know, I've heard the infant mortality rate is high with Black women, and I've heard they're not getting the medical attention they need a lot of times. And um, it could be that something's happening, something's causing it, you know. And if it is racism, we need to figure that out because that can't be happening. Um, you know, but like I said, I don't know. I can't speak on facts because I don't know the facts. I just know the data that comes out. Okay. But I'm trying to figure out why are the birth rates low. This could be one of the reasons the birth rate is low. Okay. And you know, a lot of times Black women have problems with. I almost lost my wife from, you know, when our youngest daughter was born. Okay. And from what I've seen, the medical staff did everything they could. I mean, they medevaced her to a hospital that specialized in, you know, premature births, and they put on a helicopter and they did all this stuff. And you know, the doctors were working frantically, and my wife survived, thank God. Um, but maybe they did that for us because you know I was a soldier and the military medevaced her out there, and maybe they looked at it as high priority. Maybe there wasn't no. I don't know. I'm speculating like crazy. Okay, but there is a problem. Okay, what is causing it? I don't think it's one thing causing it. I think it's a combination of different things. Okay? But anyway, I'm just showing you the data. Okay? All right. Okay. All righty. Let's show another video. Did I do the copyright disclaimer? Fair use, fair use. There it is. Commentary, educational purposes, opinion, and we might learn something maybe. Hopefully. I'm trying to learn something. Oh, okay. But that is sad. I don't want to see black women suffer at all. I don't want to see anybody suffer, okay? But bring Miss Sandy, please. Miss Sandy is a black mom. Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, Miss Sandy is a black mom. Yes, she is. Okay. Um, you know, all right. You didn't know Miss Sandy was a black mom? What's that mean? Have you seen her, right? Okay. Okay, let's show another video here.
Ask this question.
All right, let me take this off the screen. All right.
Have you asked this question? So
Okay, let's show this video. We want Miss Sandy's opinion. Okay. Uh, bring Miss Sandy, please. All right. Sandy, you got an opinion on this? All right. All right.
I'm
Let's
happy you
see.
asked this question. So let's talk about declining birth rates and why it's happening faster in minority communities. So the best predictors of changes in fertility over the past decade have been race, ethnicity, marital status, and geography. Fertility declines are most associated with race-specific or region-specific factors. And in this next graph, I'll show you what it looks like across the board.
Okay, these are fertility rates declining, right? I don't know if you see that. Red is white. Okay. Uh, and what was this study? It has Hispanic at the most declining. Huh. Maybe because their rates were higher before. Yeah, anyway, the stats, what it's
And as you
showing.
saw in the graph, Hispanic, Indigenous peoples, and African Americans have the largest decline. And the link between socioeconomic status and race and ethnicity is very strong. So it's not surprising that these ethnicity and races have the strongest decline because they can't afford to have kids. And until America is ready to make it more equitable for these populations, birth rates are going to continue to decline because no one wants to bring someone into this world when they can't afford to take care of them.
Okay. So I think what she's saying is minority birth rates are going down. Okay. And what she's saying is because of economic reasons. Okay. And that makes sense because minorities had more children, right? But now they're gradually going down. Okay. And that is true. All groups of people, our birth rates are going down from what they used to be. Okay. Um, on another show, I'll have Sandy give her opinion. Okay. Um, on that, but you're seeing birth rates go down in all areas. Okay. A lot of times, people will say, "Well, the white race is dying; they're dying out. Oh my God!" And uh, you'll see black nationalists just throw that out there. White people are they're vanishing. They're dying off. Soon they will no longer exist. And then you see white nationalists say, "Oh my God, there's a problem here. White people need to stay with white people, or we can't intermix with other groups and all this nonsense." Okay. Um, and it's crazy. And I think a lot of black nationals say that because they fantasize about white people just dying and going away. Uh, I mean, they're the same thing as the white supremacists. They're just black, the other side of it. Um, and I think they fantasize about that. And it's a way to take a shot at white people like, you're weak, you're going to die out. And white supremacists are just, you can't date out because we got to preserve the white race. And to me, here's the thing. Okay, race is a social construct. Okay, it was created to divide people. We're human beings. According to the Bible, we're one race. We're not different races. Okay? The only thing we have different is melanin. Some people have a lot, some people have very little. Some in between. We're people. People. Okay? I don't care if there's less pure white people in this world. Okay? It's going to happen. There's going to be less people that are 100% white, okay? And black. There's going to be less people that are fully black. Because why? Because we're going to procreate with each other. We're going to intermarry. We're going to have children. We're going to procreate with each other. You can't stop it, okay? And I think that's a beautiful thing. We're people. Good God. Anyway. All right, nice video. Okay. But birth rates are going down across
You
the
asked this
board.
question. So let's talk
Okay.
about
Okay. Sorry, I got to bring you down. I already showed your video. Nice video, though. Okay. Okay. But yeah, the white birth rate is dropping. It has been. Okay. But look at this. People like me are contributing to the decrease, right? Because I'm married to a black woman. I have biracial children. So they don't count my children as white children. Where my brother, he's married to a white wife, so he's got white children. They're counted as white. So if you look at it on paper, it looks like I didn't have no children, but I did. Uh, Jesus is around the corner. This world is cooked. Yes. You're so right. Yeah. But it wasn't meant to. In America, we're not meant to separate ourselves. We're meant to be together. You know, there ain't no pure race. We're the human race. Sorry, these white nationalists, no, you're not pure. You're just a human being like that black person is, and vice versa. We're people. One is not superior than the other. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Let's show another video.
To your health headlines this morning. This is a big topic that maybe you've seen the headline. The fertility rate in the U.S. has hit an all-time low. New data from the CDC showing the fertility rate in 2024 was actually less than 1.6 births per woman. Woman, I should say.
Joining us this morning to help us kind of understand what's behind this decline is 12 News medical expert Dr. Pyle Coley. Okay, so Dr. Coley, when you look at these numbers, how big of a decline is it really, and what are some contributing factors?
You know, ladies, we have been looking over the last several decades, and what we've noticed is that even though it had been fluctuating, the last 20 years have really seen sort of a gradual decline in the fertility rate. And the way that we define it is how many children does an average woman have? And in order to maintain your generation, an average woman needs to have 2.1 children, right? Because she accounts for herself and for the male population as well. But what we see now that it's gone down to 1.6, which means that we're not even replacing our own generation. And a large contributor of this, I would say probably the largest contributor, is that women are just delaying marriage and childbearing. and career and other responsibilities are getting in the way. And that's made it so that we have more infertility, less women able to get pregnant. Right. But I will also say the economic impact of the fact that inflation has made everything more expensive. A lot of people struggle for healthcare, for housing, for those types of things.
And bingo, I believe that's the biggest contribution to low birth rates. Economics. Okay. Uh, it's expensive to live, right? If you're an everyday man and woman, children are very expensive. Okay. And I look at my wife, you take, okay, just a natural birth is expensive, right? In the hospital. But if you take my situation, my wife had a C-section for all three of our kids. That's very expensive. Okay. I was in the military, so I didn't have to pay those high costs, right? But the everyday man and woman in America, that's a lot of money. And let me tell you, medical expenses are going up. Okay. They're not going down. Okay. And it don't matter what politician you get in there. Insurance companies are going to try to make big profits and going to try to make a lot of money. And their bottom line is the dollar. It's not about the people and all this. Okay? That's facts. Okay? And then the government coming in throwing money at it is just going to make the insurance companies even more richer. So it's like a catch-22. Okay? And how do you fix that? The medical industry does have to make a profit because they got to pay their doctors and nurses, and so we can't get it for free, which is fantasy. Free Medicare, free healthcare. That's great. And the countries that have it get crappy healthcare. And I'm not trying to be political, but I'm trying to be honest. Okay, if somehow we can get rid of the middleman and just pay medical costs, and but a lot of these insurance companies are making big dollars. This government shutdown, you know why it's happening? It goes beyond Democrat and Republicans. It's about the insurance companies. They want to get paid, and they're making big money. Because once you put something in government, temporary, that means it's forever. Tell me I'm lying. Because when people get benefits, they don't want to let go of them. And you can't really blame them because medical cost is so high. My God. When you go into a hospital and have to pay $20 for an aspirin, something's not right. You know what I mean? But economics is driving our birth rates low. That's the biggest thing. We can't afford to have children. Let's be honest. That's really what's driving it down. It's not because we can't reproduce. We can. But do we want to have a lot of kids? It gets very expensive. Look, I had 3 kids, and you know what? It took a lot of money. Now, I'm not complaining. My kids are well worth every dime I spend on them, no doubt. But just feeding them, giving them clothing, making sure they got a roof over their head. Kids are not cheap. Okay? And I believe in capitalism, but we can't get too greedy. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Okay. Let's continue.
People are actually choosing not to have children.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting when you say that you're looking at all of those factors, right? Because a lot of the world is dealing with some of those factors. So when you look at our fertility rate compared to the world, how does that look? Where do we stack up?
So, we tend to be on par with some of the developed countries. We're actually doing a little better than many of the European countries. And what we're starting to see is what would happen in the future if our fertility rate continued to decline. the way that it has been declining for the last 2 decades. We're starting to see countries like Japan and Italy actually having trouble getting enough workforce because there aren't enough young people, because they tend to have very low fertility rates as well. So I don't think it's reason for alarm quite yet, but certainly what we're seeing is the trend is suggesting that in the next 5 to 10 years, more and more women will choose not to have children. It won't just be the burdens that prevent them from having children, and the impact that that might have on our entire US population could be something we need to start paying attention to.
You know, Dr. Coley, I've got a lot of friends who are going through their fertility journeys and having to deal with, infertility and everything that comes with that, and how expensive it is if you are infertile and then you have to go different routes. What is your recommendation to women just in general? Is there a specific age that we should think about freezing our eggs? So just it ensures some sort of a future. Are there foods that we should avoid? Are there any just advice or things that we should start to put in our minds so that we can be on a path that just opens up options?
I'm so glad you asked me that question, because I also have a lot of friends and
Okay, let's stop here. I'm not going to get in the infertility rates because people have trouble having children. There are people that can't have kids or have trouble. Okay, I don't think that's the problem of our birth rates. I think people aren't having kids because of the cost of having children. Okay, and that's where this video goes into, and I don't want to go into that because it's not what the show is about. Okay, I'm just talking in society in general. Why our birth rates are dropping. Okay, and I think it's, in my opinion, it's mostly economics. Okay, uh, and marriage rates are low, so that contributes. Because I mean, how many women want to just have children by themselves? They don't, unless they're wealthy women that just want to have the experience of having children. But that's very few and far between. Most women want to have a child with a man that loves them. That's it. Okay. Um, and I think our low marriage rates contribute to the low birth rates because, you know, most people don't want to have children out of wedlock. They really don't. Okay. Some people don't care, but there's a lot of men like me that don't want to just have children. We want a wife when we have children. We want that family structure. Okay. I know some people, and maybe the black community is different because the marriage rates are so low. And I think that sometimes when you accept things, that it just gets worse. Uh, but freezing your eggs, I don't think that's going to solve anything. That just people don't want to have children later on. Maybe the average people aren't looking at freezing eggs and doing that stuff. So I didn't want to talk about that. That is some other issue. That's not. I'm talking about our population. Okay, in Japan, they're saying they don't have enough people for the workforce because their birth rates have gone down. Okay, South Korea, the birth rates are going down. America, it's going down. All around the world, it's happening. Why? Society in the world has changed. Is it for the better? I don't know. Do we need to have more children? Are we going to fall apart? Or is this just, a ploy to get people to have more children? I don't know. But you got to look at it too. In America, our baby boomers are passing on. That's the biggest generation. After World War II, there ain't too many of them left around, so our population's dipping. After World War II, people had a lot of children. Today, we're not having so many. Okay? It's not that we can't, we're just choosing career over family a lot of times. And we're looking at it economically. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because, gosh, inflation's out of control. Things are very expensive. Okay? And a lot of people are on assistance, and the people paying the taxes, paying the bill, they're being drained. It's hitting us all hard. Styling tonight, you think so? I'm wearing my white jacket, my blue shirt. All right. But I'm just, this is just a topic I want to talk about. And why is it happening? Oh, I got one more video, my last video, guys. And then I'm going to explain my solution to the low birth rates. Okay. Um, it's going to drive some people crazy, and that's okay. It's all in fun. Yes, blue suits. Oh, my wife says that. She likes me in blue. All right. All right. Hey, but I got somebody, I got a video of a man that will tell you straight up what's going on and why the birth rates are low, right? With white people anyway. And this guy is very highly intelligent. He's like a scholar. Miami Vice, yeah. I'm going to Miami. I'm going to Florida. Anybody from Florida? Should I go to Florida? You know what? I'm going to move in a couple of years. Where should I go? Should I go to? If I was wealthy, I'd go to California. I love California, but should I go to Texas? There's opportunities in Texas. Should I go to? I was looking at Charlotte, North Carolina. Maybe Florida. Dallas. Yeah, I love Dallas. Dallas is like the top spot. It's close by and don't have to travel far to get there. And me and my wife love it there. That's like our second home. So, what's that? Oh, okay. All right. Without further ado, let me give you the man that knows what's going on. That's in Cali? Oh, okay. I love Cali, but I gotta have money to live there. And I don't want to live out in the desert, Well, I love the desert, but not in Cali. Um, uh, Charleston? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You guys know this guy, and he's going to tell you why the birth rates are low. And it's only on one group, of course.
It says in a
Okay, there he is. Mr. Mr. Delusion himself. Okay, he said the fertility rate in the U.S. has dropped to an all-time low in 2024 with less than 1.6 kids per woman. Okay, and that's true. It's dropped that way. But let's hear what he has to say.
This just in. It says in a report that the U.S. fertility rates are going down. Down, down, down. Fertility rates. For whom? Not my people. Fertility rates ain't never been a problem in my community at all. Just brown people in general. Latin people, Indian people, Asian people. Nobody's suffering from that. There's billions.
All those communities you talked about are having low birth rates, by the way. But he's saying brown people could just have babies. It's no problem. It's white people that can't, I guess.
Billions of Asians on the planet, billions of Indians, lots of black people. I'm just saying, in the U.S., I don't think it's us. Let's just keep it 100. You can hug a black or a Latin person and they get pregnant. You'd be like, wait, you pregnant? Yeah, remember the other day you hugged me? You dry humped me? It made me pregnant. Your sperm broke through the denim. I know people who had condoms said, I had a condom, I still got her pregnant. I know people who had used birth control and that fucking sperm was like, get out of here, you can't control me. So I really think that is why all this chaos is happening with the abortion rules, bringing in white refugees, Yes, shipping a bunch of them in to America.
Who are these white refugees that they're bringing in? Who are they? Can anybody tell me who they are? Because he says brown people don't have a problem with fertility rates. But this guy is stupid. He don't understand that people aren't that they're not having children because they're not having children. It's based on economics. It's based on wealth. And a lot of people that are low middle class or lower class aren't having them because they can't afford kids. He just thinks that, oh, they just can't have children. No, it's economic. And who are these refugees they're bringing in? Anyway, okay.
Also, ICE snatching up all the brown people. All the brown people are getting fucked with for some reason, shipping all the Latinos out, Africa, everybody.
Well, if they're non-citizens, that's why they're getting shipped out. They ain't just rounding up black people and shipping them out. But yeah, but birth rates with brown people are going down too. Okay, they ain't just giving each other hugs and getting pregnant. It's a worldwide thing. Okay, and a lot of people, a lot of white people don't have a lot of kids because they're focused on their career and what's going on. They're trying to build wealth. And some people just have kids and don't care. But most people in today's world are using contraception. The abortion rates keeping the population down too. That's another thing that's happening. I mean, there's many factors. Okay. Back in the day, before we had that technology, you got pregnant, you had the baby. I'm just saying. But anyway, it's not us. Okay. So either white people can't reproduce, only brown people can. Either it's that, or he don't understand what's going on with economics. He don't understand what's going on with inflation. He don't understand that there's a lot of women that just don't want to have babies out of wedlock. That a lot of women out there don't want to have kids or only want to have one or two. The biggest thing, most people only want to have one or two. Divorce rates, yeah, that affects it too. There's a lot of factors. It's not because you can't have kids, but this guy's so stupid. Oh, it's because you can't. We can. But if you look, black and brown people birth rates are going down too. So what is that? I guess the hugging ain't as effective as it used to be. I guess there's not condoms breaking like they used to. Okay, let's get that weirdo off here. But it's funny how people have their idea of what's causing it. Okay, there are many factors. Okay, I think our biggest problem is economics. Okay, I think as a society, we got to find out a way, and can we? A smart woman will have children with a man that loves her. A smart woman don't want to just have children. You know, a lot of women that have children is, they trusted in the man and he did it wrong. A lot of single mothers out there had children because they believed in the man they had a relationship with. They let him have their body, and he bounced when a baby come along. Okay, that's mainly why they're single mothers. It ain't women out there say, "Hey, let's run and get pregnant," and just no. They believed in the man they're with. They fell in love, and they had sex with him, thinking he would stick around. And today's world, men aren't real men, so they just run off and go to the next woman. And because of our awesome government, we'll give her food stamps, Section 8, and take care of her because we don't want her. We don't want children to go hungry, and we don't. But that's where we're at. Okay. And I'm not going in on people on government assistance. I'm not. Okay. I understand some people are on it and they need to be. And a lot of single mothers believed in the man they were with and they got burned. Okay. So, but what I'm saying is if we're better as men, the women will have better options. If we're better as men, we'll have less children out of wedlock. If we're better as men, women will do a lot better. They'll be more happier. They'll be more loving and loyal to us. They'll be more submissive. I know people talk about, and especially black women, they need to be more submissive. Black women need to be. I hear this all the time from these dusty weirdos. Well, guess what? These single mothers listen to you. They did what you told them. They were more submissive. They gave you what, they gave you the desire you wanted. They were submissive to you. And what'd you do? You left them barefoot and pregnant. And then you turn around and blame them that it's their fault they're single mothers. And tell them, oh, you should have chose better. Really? No, we need to be better as men so the women can choose better. How about that? That's the one thing that pisses me off the most when I hear these dudes say, tell black women, well, you should have chose better. How the hell do you know if you're not choosing better? You think some dude's going to tell you that he just wants to sleep with you and have sex with you and then he's going to go to another woman? No, he ain't going to tell you that. He's going to say he loves you and he's going to be there for you and he's going to marry you. And he loves you more than anything. And guess what? He really don't. But he bullshitted you enough to get in bed with you. And now you're a single mother. And then the same group is going to turn around and shame you for being a single mother. And that is a big reason why birth rates are going down, because women are getting tired of being played. And I believe in the black community, a lot of the reasons the birth rate's going down because of that reason. Because black women do not want to be played. They don't want to be used. They want a man that's going to be there and do the right thing. But they're not getting it. Yeah, there's a few good men out there doing it, but not many. And because us as men do not have accountability and don't take the bull by the horns and say, you know what, we messed up, we need to do better, let's fix it. No, it's the woman's fault. It's society, it's racism, it's this, it's that, poor me. Come on, black woman, coddle me because it ain't my fault. And in that situation, birth rates need to go down. Because it's unfair to women to be left alone with a child and have to deal with the abuse and being labeled and told she should have chose better. At the time, she thought she was choosing better. Oh, but you're not a simp. You're pimping and playing. Yeah, while your community's being destroyed and ran through the mud, and you got the most loving, loyal group of women, but you're too much of a dumbass to see it. Can I speak real? Can I? And I know there's women in all communities that go through that too. Okay? But black women take more abuse, more hatred, more crap, but still, they're the most loving, most loyal, most educated, most resilient. Yeah, for me, it's black women and black women only. And you know why. Now, I don't care how many percentage like me and all that dumb shit. I just know if I get a black woman to love me, I'm set for life. And by the grace of God, it happened. And all the BS I seen, my opinion to black women is they're better off opening up their options and dating and marrying other men. Okay? And I'm not dumping on the good black man that's doing the right thing, but he needs to speak up. Just saying. But our birth rates are low because we suck as men. Let's just face it. In general, men. Okay, I'm back. God. The devil's out tonight. They don't want me to speak on this. Okay. Oh my God. But what I'm saying is real. We need to do better as men. Let's have accountability. Okay? Let's do better. Okay? And my solution with the low birth rates, okay? And I don't know if my solution will solve the low birth rates. I don't know. Because in order to be in a relationship, you have to have good men that are willing to lead and sacrifice and do the right thing. Do we have enough good men in our country to make it happen? Do we? Do we have enough men that are willing to love the woman the way she needs to be loved with love and respect? Do we have men out there that will love the woman the right way and not just try to get in bed with her? And do we have any men that can atone for their wrongdoings? Do we have men out there that if they do get a woman pregnant, that they'll stand by and take care of that child and that woman? Do we have that? Because if, and you know what? And we could say it's economics that plays a toll. That plays a part on our how much children we have in our country, right? Economics plays a big role. But what plays the biggest role is good men. We're lacking on good men in America, in the rest of the world. I'm not singling out America because it's all over the place. And until we could lead like men were designed to, our birth rate's going to continue to shrink. And if we don't do right and treat our women as wives instead of indentured servants, it's just going to get worse. Because I'm telling you, and I've seen it, women are getting tired of being used. Women are getting tired of having children without the man being present. They're getting tired of having to be the backbone of the family. They're getting tired of that. And I can't blame them. What happened? Did you all see 50 Cent and other dusty black males defending Taylor against Kyla Nicole? She had it turned off her Twitter because of the hate comments from Swifties and these traitors. You know, let me say this, okay, about the Taylor Swift and Kyla Nicole and Travis Kelsey, that thing. Okay. Now, when I look at that, okay, and I look at the two women, right? And of course, Kyla Nicole is much more attractive than Taylor Swift by far. Okay. Hands down, Kyla Nicole is much more beautiful. Okay. Um, and from what I've seen, okay, this is just my opinion. I don't know. Okay. Now, Kyla Nicole and Travis Kelsey stopped dating a long time ago, way before Taylor Swift came along. So Taylor Swift did not steal Travis from Kayla Nicole. That didn't happen. They were already broken up. Now, if Travis Kelsey wants to marry Taylor Swift, that's their bit. They can do that. Okay. But what I don't look like about it is Travis Kelsey, the way he treated Kyla Nicole. In my opinion, it wasn't good. You know, and he even admitted he didn't spend a lot of money on Kayla Nicole. Well, she's doing her own thing. You know, she's got her own money. You know, playing that dusty 50-50 garbage when he's a millionaire. Okay. And in my opinion, okay, and this is just my opinion, okay, based on the women Travis Kelsey has dated in the past, and me being a man that loves black women, I just find it hard to believe that if you're in the black women like that you're going to just turn on a dime and go for the white woman. Look, and I would warn white women. You get with a white man that's been with black women, you're going to have problems. Most of the time. There's always an exception, right? Because here's the thing. White men that are exclusively into black women, they usually don't go back to the white woman. It's not a thing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There are people like that. That's the fence riding swirler. He goes back and forth, or the woman back and forth. Okay, but Travis Kelsey, I know that guy is in the black women. That's his preference. I believe that. Okay, I don't know for sure, but when you love black women, you don't you don't want no one else. I'm telling you. I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think Taylor Swift has a bigger bag than Kayla Nicole. Okay, Kayla Nicole's she's worth about 3 million, right? Which is total success, right? She's a millionaire. Okay, most people will never make that money, okay, in this world. So she's done very good, very successful woman, very beautiful, right? Taylor Swift is worth billions, okay, at least 1 billion. She's worth that, okay? Taylor Swift has a lot of connections, okay? Travis Kelsey, he's a millionaire too. He's a professional football player. How long does a football career last? Not long. Okay? Even the greats that last, they don't, it don't last that long. Okay? A lot of people, a few years, they're done. Okay? Their body takes a lot of abuse, Football is a rough sport. It's a contact sport. You get injured, you take a lot of hits, your body ain't going to be able to take it forever. So what's Travis Kelce got after football? Taylor Swift. Maybe I'm wrong though, but out of respect, I'm not going to say that's what it is, but I'm going to tell you I believe it. That's exactly what it is. Okay. And Kyla Nicole did that video. Hey, and I think to show Travis Kelce, this is what you lost. And I'm telling you, white women are jealous of black women, especially, and I think that could be an ego boost. Oh, she got the man a black woman had. Well, yeah. But I don't think Travis Kelce is a real prize, in my opinion. Okay. He's a great football player. He's but I think he's a dusty dude. I think he's an opportunist. I think he's a player. I don't think he's, his preference, I believe, is the black woman, but he's not an investor. He don't invest in love. He invested in the bag. In my opinion, okay? And I don't want to cause trouble. The Swifties are coming for me. And nothing against Taylor Swift, but I'm just saying, I think young ladies being played because I don't think Travis Kelce's preference is the white woman. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but ladies, black women, those of us in the black women, regardless of our income level or our status, we don't, once we fall in love with the black woman, we belong to the black woman. Straight up. Okay? Now, I'm sure there's an exception to the rule. Well, I'm not really sure there's an exception to the rule on that one. I don't believe it. Okay? But I'm being honest with you what I think. Now, I have nothing against Taylor Swift, okay? Some of you say you're hating on it. No, I'm not. I'm not a big fan. I don't think Taylor Swift is ugly by no means, but Kyla Nicole is much more attractive. Okay, I'm just going to say it. But hey, to each his own. I hope it's true love between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. But I got my doubts. I'm just saying. Okay. That's what I believe, and I'm being honest. Okay. But I wish the best for him. I don't want them to have problems because he's not with Kyla Nicole. They broke off way before Travis Kelce got with Taylor Swift. And you want to know some tea that I heard? I heard that I heard Travis Kelce was trying to talk to Megan the Stallion. I saw a video on that. I'm gonna look for that, but I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I could see Travis Kelce trying to go with Megan the Stallion because that's more of the women that he's been around, right? I mean, let's say Taylor Swift had the same income as Kyla Nicole. Would Travis really be into Taylor Swift? I don't know. I'm speculating. Let me stop. But black men love that, don't they? They love the fact that Travis is with Taylor Swift. And you're thinking, why would they even care? Like, who cares? But There's a lot of black men that like to point the finger to black women. See, you weren't his friend. See, he went back to the white woman. See. And they want to put that in your face, right? Which is disgusting because look, Kyla Nicole broke it off with him way before Taylor Swift. Okay. And a number of Taylor Swift's old boyfriends went to black women. I'm just saying. So that might, okay, let me stop. This is turning into the good time gossip hour. we went off the rails tonight, did we not? Are you guys okay with me going off the rails? I'm going off the rails. Because black males, yeah, and I think that's right. Because black males want to see white men and black women stop getting together, and they want Becky to hate them too. Yeah, I believe that. Yes, they do. Look, I've had friends, black friends, back in high school. I thought, man, if you know, I got friends and I got some black friends. I'll hang out with them because I like black women. They can maybe help me date black women. Give me some pointers, kind of coach me along, take me under their wing. Oh yeah, they took me under their wing. And yeah. And either they tried to encourage me to get with a white woman or Asian or Hispanic, but not black. And it's crazy. They said, no, you don't want to deal with a black woman. You just don't know. Oh, really? Well, I dealt with a black woman and I've been married over 31 years. So they were wrong. Uh, want to be able to say and look, yeah. But I don't know. But I would say this, white men, if you're a young white man, you want to date black women, okay, you're watching this show and you see how I praise black women and how I tell my story about, the relationships I've been in and my marriage with my wife, and you want that, and you're attracted to black women, and there's a young black lady in your life you want to talk to, okay, and you want to find out how you can, approach or be in a relationship. Let me tell you this. Number one, okay, do not get help from a black man to get with a black woman. Don't do that. Mm-mm. Okay, I don't care how close your friendship is. Okay, and I'm just saying, because there's something there. A lot of black men feel some kind of way when you're with a black woman. A lot of black men don't like seeing that. Okay, they might tell you, "Oh, it don't matter, do your thing, bro." But some of them might give you bad advice and kind of steal you away in a way. That's happened to me. I lost a girlfriend that I was so into, and I took the advice of a black man that said, "No, get with this girl. She won't know." Yeah. Because deep down inside, a lot of them do not like to see white men with black women. Okay, they look at it as like somehow we're taking black women away from them. They're not like white men. White men, we see black men with white women, we don't care. A lot of times we celebrate it or we give them advice or try to help them out, but they're not going to do that for you. There's always an exception to the rule. I did have a friend that was, that I grew up with that, cared for me, wouldn't steer me wrong. But a lot of them, look, do not get advice from a black man on dating black women. Don't do it. If you have a friend that's a black woman and you guys have a good friendship, talk to her. She'll help you out. She ain't going to lead you astray. Okay? But the black men will. I'm just saying. Um, and I know white men, won't say it, but they know what I'm talking about. Anyway, okay, all right. But anyway, I was going to tell you my solution. Listen to me. Here's my solution. Okay, and this will fix our society, and I think eventually it will stabilize our birth rate. Okay, all right, and here's what it is. Okay, here's my solution. Okay, number one, and I'm speaking to black women, white men first. Okay, and here's what I'm going to tell you: open up your options to each other. Black women, okay, open up your options. Okay, white men and non-black men, get to know the black woman. Okay, if you're a good man, if you're a dusty piece of crap, leave the black woman alone. But get to know the black woman. Okay, get to know each other. Okay, because if we're talking about race is a social construct. Okay, there isn't different races, that's made up. It's a way to separate people. Okay, it's a way to keep us divided. Look, white people divided themselves with other white people. Okay, Asians divide Asians and black divide black. Let's be honest. Okay, but we don't need to do that in our country. Okay, good people need to be with good people. Okay, good people need to marry good people. Okay, all right. We don't need to look at skin tone. If that person loves you and makes you happy, you go with that person. Okay, let's get this segregated mindset out of our head. Okay, let's start going to where we're loved and celebrated. Okay, let's do that. Look, white men or non-black men, if there's a black woman that loves you and you love her, marry her. Okay, and vice versa. Do not let anybody dictate who you're with. Okay, it's not us against them. We need to get out of that. That's only dividing us. That's hurting our country. Okay, you get with people that love you and celebrate you. Okay, this stuff, we gotta be with our own kind. What is our own kind? You know, hold on, Corey. I got to just say this real quick. Okay, now, what is our own kind? Because I had a discussion, okay, with a friend at work, and he was a black guy. He said, "You know what? Look, I know you're married to a black woman. I know your wife is a good woman. She's been there for you. I know you got it good, but you really don't know black women." That's what he told me. He said, "Your wife is just like you. Your wife thinks like you. Your wife is in the same community as you. You really didn't get with a black woman." And that pissed me off because my wife is a black woman. Okay? And I know what he was doing. He was stereotyping. Okay? Because my wife come from an upper middle class family. Okay? She grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, right? People make fun of me. They say, "Yeah, you go to the white neighborhood to get a black wife." That's basically what I did. It wasn't that it was strategy, it just happened. Okay? But in a way he was right. Okay? My wife is like me. Me and my wife, we share the same values. We're both people of faith, we're both Christians. Me and my wife, we're both come from blue collar families. Okay? Both our families our military families. Okay. So, yeah, in that sense, yes, I was with my own kind. Okay. In that sense, we share the same values. We believe a lot of the same things. Not everything, but in that sense, he was right. But my wife is a black woman, and it don't make her less black because she's around more white people. Okay, that's what pissed me off. That was wrong. Okay, black women are in all neighborhoods, all communities. Okay, and a lot of times white men don't go to the hood to get a black woman because she's already in his community. Okay, I hate when they do that and stereotype. He's stereotyping black women like real black women are from the hood. No, they ain't. Okay, well, I don't want to say it like that. Real black women are everywhere. Whether it's the hood or Hollywood, they're everywhere. Okay, but I am with my own kind in the sense on our values, our beliefs, our faith. Okay, she just happens to be a black woman, and in my faith, in my culture, I found black women are the best option, and that's who I chose. Okay. Anyway, sorry, Corey, I had to just talk about that a little bit.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, how you doing, Corey? It's good to see you, brother.
Doing good. Got a day off finally.
Oh, that's good.
Rare.
Yeah. Well, it's rare for me. I've been making, a little bit more videos and lives, and I'm trying to build up because next 3 weeks I'm getting some serious overtime. So I might only be able to do a Saturday show. My work schedule is going to be tough next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
But
holidays are coming on. Everything's going to get all
yeah,
pressurized and stressed out.
right. But it'll be a little extra money for Christmas, so I guess I got to look at the positive because I'm not looking forward to 12-hour days, 6 days a week. Ooh, yeah, I'm headed there. But it's okay. It is what it is. It's my job, my career. That's what I signed up for. So, anyway.
volunteered to suffer, didn't you?
Right? As if the army didn't do enough of that to me already.
All you should have seen it. Yesterday, I was looking at some energy drinks. And this really, really short Latino lady comes up next to me, and she goes, the black ones are the best. And my voice dropped an octave.
She said, "What? The black ones are the."
He just headed for the door, smiling, just like, "Okay, it works."
You should have said, "Yeah, you're right."
Oh no, I just went all just like, I do like what.
You should have said, "Are we talking about energy drinks or women?"
Oh no, I'm very open. They know I only date black women.
Oh, okay. So she was just making a joke with you being cute.
No, I actually turned it around. I made it funny. Of course, she bailed. She headed for the door laughing after that. Like,
yeah.
With it. Well, because I'm single. And the women walk up and try to subtly flirt, try to, see if they have influence to control,
Right.
It's just funny. I think I watch too close anymore. I think that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Sweet Rose said it's very weird that black men worry about black women with white men. Yeah, it's crazy. But Asian and Hispanic and like black women too. Very strange. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of Asian men that love black women. Hispanic men too. Yes. Yeah, they do. But what made me mad about that conversation I had at work is he was like saying my wife ain't a real black woman. I don't know black women. Like, and if I don't, why do you even care? I mean, like my wife, because her family had some wealth. She's no longer black. That was a put down to black people and mostly black women to say that crap. I haven't.
Well,
That's a crazy thing. You
maybe
know,
he was jealous that you married her and not him.
oh yeah, one of those, one of those switchback dusties, right?
Well, if you're going to
You
open your
never
mouth
know.
and walk into it, you're just open for all kinds of comments. I mean,
Oh yeah, man. But
I don't get it when somebody will speak about another man's wife. Oh,
right,
I mean,
right.
thanks for it, bud. It.
Well, he don't like my channel. He thinks that he said, your channel is just a bunch of soft bigotry. That's what he says. I said, well, shut up. No, it's not.
Oh,
But
and every channel I've ever heard where it's just a bunch of men, the,
mhm,
the conversation's perfect and not flawed.
yeah, when does that happen, right?
Right. I still
Yeah.
think most that you made it Sandy and not him.
Oh my God, don't say that. That's
Hey, in this society, you got to wonder. First of all, he's commenting about another man's wife, so you
right.
can't.
That's pretty feminine in itself.
The interpretation has got to go. It's got to go every direction possible at that point. Although it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. But it was a dig at me and at my wife, like she's not really black because she's in a white neighborhood and all that stupid crap. And I'm just like, what? I'm just like, come on.
Well, that
But
just shows his lack of intelligence.
right, but you know what? A group of men I have to have respect for, Corey, for the most part, is Asian men.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because most Asian women in America marry white men. You know that? They marry more white men than Asian men.
Hmm.
But you never hear Asian men complaining, "Oh, white men are fetishizing our women. White men are doing this." You never hear them say that. They don't complain at all. They just go quietly about their business, go to work, you know, they find them a wife, get married, and live their life. I
Well,
mean,
it, I truly believe any physically grown man that complains about another man marrying a woman, he needs to take some estrogen blockers because he's refusing to grow up.
right. Can you imagine me, Corey, going on uh these swirler channels with black men and white women and making comments, "Oh, she's a sellout. Oh, you're just fantasizing her." How stupid and ignorant would that be?
That would be pathetic.
That would be so pathetic, right?
Yeah,
But
very
these
pathetic.
jokers come on my channel talking trash about me or my wife, and it's like, like, good God, are you that insecure? Like, I mean, like, what do you think? You just black? You're going to run out of black women? And I think a lot of black women are race loyal and would compliment black men. And why are you at my channel? It's just crazy.
Well, those emotional guys, and I got to say it, they're emotional
Well,
bulls. I can't call them men because men don't talk like that.
yeah, they're
Emotional
emotionally
males,
insecure.
yeah, they
Yeah,
have to share that dribbly, sniveling opinion about every little thing that's going on because they don't know how to process it. It's like,
right.
you want to break out I mean, you get them send them to therapy for 6 weeks, estrogen blockers, and guaranteed 98% success rate to somewhat try to make a man out of them instead of a child.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I I don't know if they're just producing a high level of estrogen or
It's a
I don't
lack of
know.
testosterone and logic.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're so wrapped up in your emotions. You're like a 12-year-old boy. I mean, it's like his voice quit changing, but his brain never caught up.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is you have these dusties come out and they'll say, "Oh, you're a simp. You're simping. You're da, da, da." And I'm like, and I was thinking, what do you mean? And I got it. I figured it out because I show love towards black women, and I defend black women. So I guess that's simping. And guess what? They won't simp for the black woman. They'll simp for each other. Because if you say anything about them, oh my God, they rally around each other. I mean, it's like if I say something negative about one black man, they all just
Mm.
they all round up and go in on me like, hey, you can't say that. What the hell? You
Well,
racist. And but but when it comes to a black woman that's getting attacked, it's like crickets. Oh no, man, I ain't going simp. I'm no simp. Yeah, I showed her, but they're going to get old and be at the club at 65 years old trying to hit on a 20-year-old woman. They're just going to be laughed at. You
oh,
know, I see it, and
that's bad.
no, that's how they're going to end up. And then they'll be alone. You know, when they're old. You know what, bro? Hey, you know what? I had all these women. You know what? I wasn't no simp. You know, like that Roadrunner guy, he was a simp. Here I am. I'm an old man. I got kids, grandkids, and great grandkids, and got a family that loves me. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you so-called simp. And you know what simp means? Strong, intelligent men protect.
Well, if you break it down, a husband does simp for his wife.
Well, he
But
protects her. He loves her.
there are conditions to that lifestyle, though. I mean,
Right.
you can't go out of your way to sabotage the relationship and expect a man to just be a dumb idiot. I mean,
Right.
everybody has to contribute to this relationship. It takes work on both sides.
Yeah.
Me,
I just
I came from a 27-year married divorce, so I got a little bit of education on a one-way street. It never works.
right. Well, yeah, and I think that's a lot of these Dusty's problems. A lot of them, they I don't know. It's like they don't have compassion for women. It's like they want to just dominate the woman, just treat her like a indentured servant and not a wife. You know, like they want women to submit to them when they're not even their wives. It's
Yeah, well,
like,
see, that's the delusional boy.
yeah,
It's just a delusional boy. It, if you go back to the garden, let's just break down the basic fundamental design of a relationship. God put Adam in the garden to go to work, and then he put the woman in there to help the man work. That is the
mhm,
strongest combination on the planet for a relationship.
right,
You can't reinvent something that was made perfect to begin with. It doesn't exist. Yeah, you have every opportunity to mess it up. you know,
right,
People have, but it's the strongest combination of two people doing one thing, moving forward. There ain't no stronger combination on the planet.
right.
It doesn't exist.
And when you got true love, a marriage it is a beautiful thing. It makes two people stronger. Um, and if you got a good marriage and you love each other the right way, your marriage will make you both better. And that's
Hmm.
what a marriage should be, where both people are happy, both people are uplifted, both the man and woman feels loved and is happy and uplifted, where they depend on each other because of the love they have. And when they do that and become one, that's a perfect union. We're not perfect, of course. We got our flaws. We're going to irritate each other, and In a
yeah.
marriage, it happens. Anybody you're around a long time will irritate you, even the people you love the most. And I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, of
Look,
course.
when I got married to my wife, it was funny. I was like, because my wife is like, it's crazy. She's like my father, a neat freak, right? Everything's got to be in order, right, in place. And I'm clean, but I'm just like, sometimes I'll just throw my shoes off and go lay down. I don't care. But my wife, oh no, you got to put it there and there and there. And my dad was like that. Oh my God. And it would irritate me because my wife was like my father in many ways. It's kind of crazy. Like the toothpaste. My dad would roll it and get every little bit of toothpaste out of the tube. My wife does that. And I'm like, oh my God, really? But I love my wife, she's organized, she's squared away. I mean, the way it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Well,
It,
when you marry the person that you find beautiful every day,
hmm
well, you're going to wake up next to them. I mean, they may wake you up snoring, but you're going to wake up and say, "Oh, you're beautiful,"
Right, right. And that's the way I always felt. It didn't make me mad. It was just like, oh my God, you're like my dad. But but I could say too that she has character like my father too, you know. And that's a good thing. And and people say a lot of times men will choose a woman like their mother. Actually, I chose a woman like my father in a way of, and in the way that she's neat, she's organized. Um,
Sorry, Brett, I was reading the chat.
um, you, you know, um,
Well, you
the
picked the
different,
person who had the most influence in a positive way.
right? And
Yeah.
but the thing's different than my father. She's a lot nicer. Those are the differences. Um,
So she's more nurturing than your dad's
oh
logic,
yeah, yeah,
testosterone fueled.
yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean that's what those are qualities I loved about it. Even though it was irritating in a way, I loved it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I seen the character in my wife. I seen, you know, and she's real. I mean, she's got the most beautiful spirit, but she's no nonsense too, you know, and and it's crazy because my son is just like my wife in that aspect. He's real neat, even when he was little. My daughters kind of take after me. They're kind of messy, but my son's kind of like my wife. He always kept things nice and neat.
Mhm.
Just every toy he had to be in a certain spot, and um, it makes sense why he does good in the military because he could conform to that,
Mhm.
But yeah, it's funny. Just
Well, when you're talking about those guys calling you a simp, well, weren't they simping for Taylor Swift?
oh yeah, well look, yeah, they'll simp
But
for a
that's
white
okay
woman.
because it's a
Hey,
gotcha moment.
I think there's an unwritten rule that you can't simp for the black woman, but you can for the white woman. That because yeah, they'll do that night and day.
All I can say is, ew.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
What? Just ew.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It's it's a well. I better not say that.
yeah. But
Anyway,
what's funny is I see these pro-black and people and these white nationalist people that want to be segregated, and I'm thinking that segregation boat is long gone. That sailed years ago. In fact, black men are making more biracial children than anybody on the planet right now. So hey, if you think you're going to stop it, good luck. It ain't going to happen. So,
Well, like that one guy said, you just hug them and they get pregnant. That's a hell of a hug, I gotta say.
yeah. How do you-
Wow.
yeah, that's one heck
He's
of a
walking
hug.
around. He's got a warning sign hanging off of his back.
Oh my God, he hugged you. You're going to be pregnant.
Yep. Now serving. I don't know. Guys with a mentality like that. I mean, I can't. My brain can't even wrap around. Okay, I'm just gonna go have or get multiple women pregnant and never be involved in the kids' life.
Right.
Really? That's pathetic.
You know, I was watching some show
Yeah.
where this guy was he had like 40 children, right?
Wow.
And he wasn't married to any of the women, and he didn't have no money. But I was like, oh
Oh,
my
that's
God.
nasty.
I mean, I don't know. And they say our birth rates are low. You get a couple of those guys, it'll bring it back up in a couple years. I don't know. It just,
I mean, that just sounds nasty. I don't know.
oh yeah. Can you imagine? I wonder how many diseases he transferred.
Ew, you're
I
walking
mean,
petri dish.
man.
Ugh.
And
You
what?
know, male or female, anybody that has a lifestyle like that, no.
Yeah, but you know what was sad is the women like they didn't know he had all these women. They're like thinking they were the one, you know. Um, and I was like, wow. I'm just, how do you do that? What would you say to your kids? You know you can't. He didn't have no job or nothing. He couldn't take care of one. What's he going to tell 40? Oh, sorry kids, but you know I was just having fun. You
You
know.
know, that guy is what you would call an actual dog. He's just walking around humping everything.
Yeah, that's that. Hey, that's how dogs do it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's a dog that's in heat, and you have well, not anymore because you know city ordinance have cracked down on make you fix your dog. But I remember back in the '70s, Corey, there'd be a dog that was in heat, and you'd have like 30 dogs from the neighborhood all in your yard, and it's
yeah,
like, oh my God.
yep.
That's how these guys are. They're dogs. I mean, it makes sense. You're just out there just, humping whatever you can and impregnating women like a dog does, right?
Well, they matured into adult males, but not mature men.
Right.
You know, their reproductive system is working, but the mentality is like
Right.
undeveloped. That's all I can say.
Right.
They have no concept of a strong society, a strong neighborhood. It's just like, gotta make a baby. The damn caveman.
Yeah.
It's just a caveman.
I'm just like, wow. No wonder, man, can you imagine how much money's paid out to the women, for benefits to feed these children?
You
I'm
know,
just
I
like,
truly
wow.
believe that men should be forced into the military that live like that,
Oh yeah.
and their wages need to be garnished to pay for them kids.
Right.
I mean,
And
it should be mandatory. If you're going to walk around like that, oh, no,
it just
especially as a man.
right. It just so irresponsible. I mean I
Well, it's
couldn't see
destructive.
that.
I mean, you don't need a bunch of children with no parental guidance.
Right.
That's destructive.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you got to understand that uh, sex is something you got to be really responsible for. Um, and biblically, the reason they said not till marriage because they didn't want stuff like that happen. People having children out of wedlock, and you create children that, that in an unstable environment, you know.
Well,
And
most people,
I couldn't live with myself if I couldn't take care of my kids. I'd be like, oh my God, what would I say to my children if I couldn't take care of them?
yeah, well,
What
even
would I
to not
say?
want to be
Like,
part of their life.
right. I
That's
mean,
just not even. I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't even sound human.
yeah.
Well,
I,
the more I've been digging into, people like when they're hooking up or when they're married.
uh,
Okay, if you go back to the garden, Eve came out of the man, or the woman came out of the man, and when they come back together, it's a form of worship. It's spiritual. It's not just physical.
oh yeah, sexual. Yeah, it is.
It's not just this biological function to reproduce. It transcends that because you can reproduce, but then it's not reproducing is not the main focus. It's an after effect,
Right.
because you don't have to reproduce to simply do it. It's a form of worship. It's I think, well, you don't want to get me started. I got a lot of time to just focus and read. But no,
Yeah.
people have, it's been so twisted up. It's really been twisted up. Hookup culture, it's already been tried before. It leads to the same outcome.
Yeah. Well,
Our
you
society
know,
is not the only society to live like this, and they all
right.
fall. Every one of them fall.
Right. The polygamy type thing.
Well, the free for all. Sodom and Gomorrah was a free for all.
Oh yeah.
Rome was a free for all. Spartan was a free for all. Just
Right.
Egypt was a free for all. I mean, the women could walk around wearing basically sheer see through, they were naked. I
Right.
mean, Cleopatra has a nasty history. Have you ever read her history?
Mm.
Wow. Oh, she was nasty.
Oh, was she? I didn't
Oh,
know that.
bad.
Mm.
No, it is way off the rails. I
Yeah.
never even thought about it until I started digging into the historical. It's like, holy moly. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well, you remember back in the day, right? In the 70s, 60s, 70s. Well, you weren't around in the 60s. I was born in 69, right? Uh,
Hmm.
but I remember in the 70s, you remember the hippies and stuff?
Oh yeah, I live on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Oh yeah, you got that. Well, they're geriatric now, but
Yeah,
I
yeah, they
remember
are.
back in the day, they had these communes where they would try to get together and I guess grow food and do their thing, and and a big part of their so-called culture was like free love. Like they looked at having sex as like free love, like it feels good, it's okay to do it. And, they would share people's wives and girlfriends and stuff, and it was and that never works out. I mean, but there was societies that did that, and some people believe that's okay to do, but it messes you up mentally. Um, and it's a spiritual act. So if you're going to do that, it should be with your wife and your wife alone. Um,
Well, when the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn,
mhm.
there might be something to it. I mean, you're lusting after there's three things that God hates. Actually says it in the Bible that he hates three things: the
Mhm.
lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life.
Mm.
And what are you doing when you're engaging in hookup culture for 50 years straight?
No, it's lust. It's
Just
you know what? And thinking of talking about that, right? Hookup culture. I showed a video a few lives ago, right? This guy was saying, he was a white guy, right? He's talking about black women saying all the right things, right? I was like, that's a pretty good video. But I listened to it a couple times and I'm like, oh my God, big red flag. because he started out, and I didn't catch it right away. He says, I've been interracially dating for 20 years.
Good Lord.
And I didn't catch it at first. So I listened to what he was saying. Oh, man. He said, you shouldn't date women to make black men mad. You shouldn't date black women, you know,
20 years?
for lustful reasons. He said, you should be an example. If she's got a child, you should be an example to her child how to love a woman the right way and be a good man. And I was like, oh my God, this is
This
good
guy's
stuff.
a loser. 20 years? Oh, man.
But yeah, and that was the thing. The one thing he said wrong made everything wrong when he said he was dating black women for 20 years. I'm like, and he was saying how great black women are. And I'm thinking, if they're so great, why aren't you married to one of them? I mean,
Well, he told on himself.
right. But
he spent 20 years dating black women, and none of them wanted him.
Right. So he must have been a dusty dude, because he's one of those powder donut dusties. And my thing is like, wow, and black women are amazing, and I love black women. And you know what, Corey? I married a black woman when I was young. You know what I mean? I didn't waste time dating. I found a black woman that loved me, and bam, there you go. And that's what you do. And black women are so amazing. And you find one that loves you, it ain't going to take long to get married. And it darn sure ain't going to take 20 years.
Well, the guy he's a loser and a fetishizer.
Right.
I mean, anybody that has that track record, your past matters.
It does.
Your past matters. I have not dated since 1990. Actually, 1990.
Oh, God. Wow. That was before I got married. Wow.
Well, I was married in 92, but we were engaged for 2 years. There was a 2-year engagement. But yeah, it was.
Okay.
Think about it. 1990 was the last time. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
But I'm not looking to experiment. I'm not looking to explore. I'm not wondering what a black woman's like. She's a woman, I'm looking for the proper fit.
Right. You're looking for something that's real, a real relationship that leads to marriage, not a hookup.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, you can't call me. I mean, when I was younger, I was a dog, but I haven't been a dog since since 1990. Actually, I was tired of it. But
I had some dusty early days, and I'm not proud of it, and I'm ashamed of.
The West Coast, all the older crowd was like, "Oh, you need to go do this. You need to go." You know what? Before I even stopped being a teenager, I knew they were lying. It's like, you guys are liars. This is not living.
Right.
It's not living at all. Yeah. I was tired of that lifestyle when I was still a teenager. It's like, y'all are just.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted. My thing is I wanted marriage like when I was young. That was how I was raised, and that's what I knew I was going to do.
Jasmine said she was born in 1990.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm 55. I was born in 70, so.
Oh, okay, a year after me.
Yep.
Yeah. Gen X, right?
Oh yeah, we still drank out of garden hoses in the front yard. we rode bicycles without helmets.
Yeah. I don't think they even made helmets back then.
Yeah, they did, but only people on motorcycles rode. In fact, we had motorcycles.
Well, yeah.
We still didn't wear helmets on the motorcycles.
Oh God, yeah. I rode half my life without a helmet on a motorcycle. And that was in town and everything. Yeah, things were a lot different back then. Oh man.
Well,
And,
it was natural selection, and the dumb ones didn't get to reproduce.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, you could be bleeding, and it's just like, I just rub some dirt on it, you'll be fine. I mean,
Right.
it was.
Yeah, the old well, you better be home by the time that light comes on. I think that's everybody's story. We all had a street light. Once it came on, that's time to go home.
Ours was always when it's getting close to dinner time, because we always lived, out of town. So, I mean, my playground was mountains,
Mm.
rivers, creeks, lakes. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times as grade schoolers we'd be up on the mountains, just walking, hiking, exploring, and we would hear a cougar scream in the distance, or hear a black bear walking up the hill beside us, and we're just little guys.
Yeah.
We weren't that big at all.
Yeah.
Grade school, not even. We're still single digit midgets.
Black bear ain't too aggressive though. They're pretty skittish, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're not. If
They're
they
not.
No,
I've seen them, but I've never run up on one.
well, they always say if you're getting attacked by a bear, you fight a black bear and you play dead with the brown bear. Because the
Mm,
black bear, I mean, you got to fight him off. And they don't like to give up either.
mm.
No,
You can't just
well,
play
there's
dead
been,
with them.
well, because the brown bear bites you in half.
Yeah.
Yes, this a different animal.
Well, any type of bear, I don't want a corner. I mean,
Well, that's what
yeah,
guns are for.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just tools. I mean, some people use bear spray. I'm not into giving them perfume. Just rather like go away.
Hey, you know what, Corey? This was a year ago. We had a moose come all the way down to New Mexico. It was the weirdest thing. I guess they'll migrate and they'll go down into Colorado, but New Mexico is very rare. But
Hmm.
they found a moose, going through a riverbed,
Yeah.
dried up riverbed, just walking along, and I guess people saw it and freaked out. That's a moose, because moose. You don't think of New Mexico as having a moose, right? It just don't fit.
Well, it's something about cactus and sagebrush and moose just kind of don't go together.
Yeah, it don't make sense. But they did say, they will migrate that far south at times.
Hmm.
It's rare, but it does happen.
Well,
Um,
they're big. They go where they want to go.
right. And we do
Who
have
knows? Maybe he's
mountains
looking.
and
Maybe
stuff.
he's looking for an interracial relationship.
Interracial. What
I,
is this?
I'm just talking smack. Don't worry about me.
It's
Uh, no, it. I was a husband for so long, for so many years.
mhm,
My brain's still wired for husband life. I don't have
right.
this. I mean,
Well, Corey, a lot of times how you're raised, because when I got married, it just fit in place.
mhm.
And me and my wife, when we got married, it wasn't like we had to figure it out and learn to live with each other. It's like we hit the ground running. I asked Sandy to marry me. She said yes. We got married and we just lived our life. It wasn't no um and people tell me, how did you last being married that long? I said it's not hard when you love who you're with and they love you back. I mean, it's going to work. But it was like, and black women are really traditional. A lot of black women are, and I was raised traditional, and it just meshed. It worked. It was like we knew exactly what to do. It was almost like natural. It's just natural we did it. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? It was like, you know, when I proposed to my wife, right? She had her apartment, and she said she'd marry me. The minute she said that, I went and I paid her rent up. I made sure she had food.
Oh, wait, Brent, were you
I
simping?
yeah, I was simping. I was paying her bills. I was, you know, and she was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." I said, "Yes, I do have to do that." Yeah, a lot of people would say, "Man, that dude is simping hard." Um,
Yeah, they go out
you
there and
know,
simp for Taylor
but
Swift. That just blows me away.
right. But you know what? That's how I was raised. You
Yes.
know, my father took care of my mother and my stepmother, and I was raised that you take care of your wife. And even though she wasn't my wife yet, she said yes. And we're getting married, so she's my responsibility now. She's part of my family. She's my wife, and it just worked.
Well,
And,
the role of a husband is to be loving, charming, romantic, and be a monster when necessary, because you got to defend her. Um, there's there's many roles that a husband that he takes on. And if you don't understand that when you go into it, or if you've never been taught it, or if
mhm,
it's not appreciated. Now there's something else too. It's not always
right.
appreciated. So it's you can take each other for granted, and
Yeah,
it's
you
it's
can.
to your own shame if you do. If you take
Right.
your partner for granted, I can't say partner. If you take your spouse for granted, shame on you, because
Yeah,
now you just devalued your relationship. It's like don't
right.
don't let anybody, not even yourself, devalue your relationship. It's
Right.
bad,
Right.
really bad.
You know what, Corey? Speaking of taking for granted, I think a lot of us white men that love black women, I think a lot of times the reason our relationships work is we don't take the relationship for granted. And I never did. I always thought, to me, the black woman was the most beautiful woman. Um, and I felt, and I say this a lot, and I always felt I wasn't worthy to be with the black woman because of the black women I was around had a lot of character. They were loving. They were amazing women, and that's how I seen black women is women of character, women that have a big heart. I could just see the beauty, and I just felt, man, I don't deserve that, but I wanted that. I wanted to be with a black woman. In fact, I prayed to God that He would give me a black wife, right? And,
Hmm.
and and people think I'm nuts for saying that or something's wrong with me, but that's what I wanted. That's who I wanted to be with. And it wasn't out of hate for anybody. It wasn't because Becky didn't want me, like my haters say. It was just I was in love with black women. I thought black women were amazing. Even when I was a little kid, I thought, man, my dream girlfriend back in the day was Donna Summer, and I thought, man, I thought black women were the most amazing people on earth, right? And that's how I felt. And growing up, I just felt I wanted to date a black woman, but I didn't feel like I was worthy or good enough. I just felt that, but I did approach once I got my courage up. But, and when I was accepted, I really embraced it.
Hmm.
And when I was rejected, I wasn't mad because I didn't feel like I was worthy anyway. But when I was accepted, I felt like I was happy. I was grateful. And I didn't take it for granted because this was a blessing I didn't expect to have. And, and that's how I felt. And I think a lot of us white men, we love black women. Some of us are too afraid to approach. But when we do get with a black woman, we really embrace it. We cherish it.
I think
We're,
the
we're we're
danger
grateful for it. You know.
the danger of taking your spouse for granted is
Hmm.
basically putting their affection back on the market because you're no longer expressing your affection for what they do.
Right.
And if
Right.
somebody else comes by and shows them affection for what they do accomplish, that's why it's so dangerous to take for granted what your spouse is doing. Because you're not
Right.
giving them affection anymore. You're just like,
Right.
oh yeah, well you owe me that. That is so one-sided. It's hollow.
Well,
It's
and
nasty.
that that's the thing, you know, and you don't take, you know, the one you love for granted, you know, and you look at it like she's a treasure, a blessing, and
Well, you know, they always say that a man will sleep with your wife, but a woman will steal your husband. And that's an old saying because it's
oh,
been
is it?
proven
Yeah.
repeatedly. Not that I got stolen. I just had enough. But nobody
You-
stole me.
Did you want to be stolen? Did you say, "Hey, come"? No, just
Well, no, I mean, you know, because I still have the mindset of a husband,
right. You're going to do the right thing. You're not going.
but you
Yeah.
know, the
Right.
mindset of being romantic and literally by choice simping for my spouse had ended. Because, you know, when things get taken for granted and everything gets criticized, ooh, and the respect is gone, this thing is over. Exit stage
Right.
left. I'm out. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's no, it just that's why I say it's so dangerous to take your spouse for granted because you're literally putting their affection back out on the market for somebody to come by and appreciate them. And you're not. That's dangerous. That's
Right.
really dangerous. And to think
Yeah.
that you're the best they could ever do, that's arrogant.
Yeah. It is.
First of all, you've already taken for granted their everything.
Mm.
So you actually devalued your own relationship. There is somebody better, somebody who will appreciate. It's just
Hmm.
bad juju, really bad juju. Yeah, I'm rambling. I gotta quit. Anyway,
No, I hear what you're saying.
well, because I
Yeah,
see it too much. It's too
and and
prevalent.
and, and you know what? I had good relationships, and until you know when I was young and dumb, and I did take it for granted a bit, and it ended.
Mm.
You're right on that. But I tell
Yeah,
you
it
what,
will end immediately.
I never take my wife for granted. I know I got a blessing. I know I'm
That's
blessed.
why
I
you've been
know.
married so long, because you
Right.
don't.
Right.
That's why you've been married so long.
In
Because
fact,
taking it
yeah.
for granted is not an option.
Right.
Well, you're a husband. That's what husbands do.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't
But
take your
you
daddy
know,
taught
but
you right. Your daddy taught you right.
he did, but yeah. No, yeah, no doubt he did. Uh, he didn't do it in the most pleasant ways, but he
Yeah, but
really
you didn't
couldn't.
forget.
Right. You know, it's
He
like,
knew sometimes you needed a slap up the back of the head. Just like, oh, he's not listening. Bap.
yeah, he said, well, with your brother, I had to kind of,
That's
you
that
know,
fact.
get him in line, but with you, I had to take the bull by the horns and
Well,
thanks.
sometimes young boys need a fact. We need a factory reset. We need that
Oh
smack
God.
up the back of the get that factory reboot back to stand. Then we get to go again.
When I was young, though, back when I was a child, I was half crazy. I was always in fights in school, always in trouble, always.
It's called testosterone. It's a
Oh
chemical
man,
imbalance. A major chemical imbalance.
I was a mess, and I feel bad because I put my dad through it. I tell you, but
Mm.
you know it worked out, and
Mhm.
you know in my life when I got out of high school and I had to do a lot of self accountability.
Mhm.
And you know, I talk about that, and I feel some people told me, "Don't look, Roadrunner, don't talk about that." But I
Mm.
really think I have to because I want people to think I'm a great guy and high value man and successful and all these wonderful things, but I got to be real. You know, I think
And if somebody's going to take the time to listen to me, I think I got to be honest. Whether it comes to my religion, my politics, what I believe, and sometimes that's hard because a lot of my beliefs people don't like, whether my religion, my politics, or how I think, right? Um, and some people, because I was honest, left my channel and said, you know what, I can't deal with this. And that's fine. That's their right. But I'm not going to come up and tell you I'm something I'm not. I just, that ain't right. Um,
But when you put it
but
in
what
perspective, your beliefs make you stable.
right. And you know what I found out is there's people that follow me that I thought would, kick me to the curb, that still have love for me, still, you know, and they love me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends like that. I've been close for years. We totally disagree on everything, but they love me for who I am. They understand I have a big heart and I believe in what I believe. And my thing is I'm not trying to make people believe like I do, but I want you to know how I believe because if we have a friendship, I want you to know because it's wrong. I think it's even wrong on YouTube for me to come up here and pretend I'm something I'm not. That ain't right. Um, and you get people, they might not like you, but they respect you because you stand for something, you know. And the people that really love me, I know it because they don't agree, but they try to convert me to, but they still love me regardless. And that's, that I think that's a lot we've lost in our country, that we're so polarized that we can't get along unless you believe
That's
like
because we're
I
letting
do.
too many people talk in our
Yeah,
ear.
right.
It's if you let everybody put into your head what you're supposed to think, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That's an old
Right.
thing, but it's
Oh
so
yeah.
true. It's
I've
like
heard that a
stop.
lot.
Yeah, it's like stop getting blown by the wind back and forth. Find that stability and stay with it, and let that wind just blow right by you, and don't let it affect you no more.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah, I love doing YouTube though. Hey, good to see you, Alexander. But I love doing YouTube. I love talking. I love telling my story. And it's uplifting to get, people that send loving comments to me and my wife. I embrace that. And that's a beautiful thing, Uh one of my haters told me, says, Roadrunner, you know what? Black women don't like you. They just listen to you because you tell them what they want to hear, and you whisper sweet nothings in their ear and tell them they're the greatest. That's the only reason they listen to you.
mhm.
And I says, okay, well, that's what I'm here for, to make them feel good and enjoy watching my channel. I mean, isn't that what it is? I mean, I'm not trying to get them to like me, and you know what I mean. I
Well,
I, I think they like me because they love what I talk about. They love, how I express love for Black women and my wife, and they they, they think I'm genuine, and they love that. They love somebody that I think is not afraid to express love for Black women, and you know, and talk about their wife and how amazing she. And that's what we should do as husbands,
well,
uplift our wives, and
for a
you know,
man to find a wife, it's really a simple process. I mean, we're really simple creatures when you think about it. As long as everything fits into where it's stable and safe, it's, I mean, first of all, you got to be loyal to each other.
Right.
You can't take each other for granted. I mean, if you do everything wrong, you will get the wrong result. You
Right.
know.
But you know what? If and speaking on just being real, if I let people control me and I didn't live my life the way I want to, I just think about that. What if I just listened to what people told me and just went with the flow? I'm glad I went against the grain. I'm glad I was attracted to black women. I
Yeah,
thank
they're all
God for
divorced
that.
now.
And I thank God that I could see beauty in black women. And I thank God my parents didn't tell me, oh, you shouldn't do that. And I thank God that I could see the true beauty. And,
Mm.
and I'm thankful I got the courage, later on to express how I really feel. And you know, and because of that, I got amazing wife, amazing family,
Mhm.
and I found out that the woman that loves me the most don't look like me. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. You know, at the end of the day, finding love is the blessing. And I could say that black women are that best option. And looking at my life, my experience, and the proof is in the pudding. 31 years of marriage. When all my doubters said I wouldn't last, a lot of
Mm.
them did not last. A lot of them been married several times. But I was wrong because I dated out. I was wrong because I chose the black woman. I mean, no, seriously, that's what I was told. And you know what? I know it wasn't in the norm, especially back in the day. But you know what? When you see it, when you see true beauty and a blessing, you embrace it, and you don't worry about what anybody thinks.
Yeah, but
You
you got to
do
think about it. Back in the day, what was normal had the normal outcome: divorce.
right. You're right.
Well, I mean, everybody was doing the same thing and got the same damn result. Hmm.
Hmm.
Don't follow the herd. That's all I can say. Don't follow the herd.
Yeah,
It- no, it's
yeah, but and going in my life, I offended a lot of people for my choices, marrying a
mm,
black woman, my religion, my political views. I mean, uh, but you know what? Sometimes it's best to be a lone wolf and know who really loves you than be surrounded around people that you think love you. Does that make
yeah. You kind
sense?
of got to weed through the people who are really good at being fake about it.
Uh-huh.
I find myself more attracted, in friends wise, in the area of having friends and in people who think like I do.
Uh-huh.
I don't really care what the color of your skin is, where you're from. It's
Right.
irrelevant to me. I mean, if we have a lot of the same beliefs, I can hang with you all day.
Right. Yeah, but you know what? I do have friends that we do disagree too. Um, and I love them for who they are. They love me for who I am.
Hmm.
But it is easier, to hang out with people that believe like you. Sure, it's comfortable. Um,
Well, people with a like mind can get a lot more stuff done than people who are divided.
well, yeah, true. You're
I
right.
mean, if you got divided uh, foundations, divided anything, it's like there's a difference between having a diversity and just incompatible. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
if
and
it's
that's
incompatible, you're not going to get nothing done.
yeah, and
Diversity
that's
is actually good.
and that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about we just and that those are the kinds that you get along with that
Hmm.
you have different beliefs, but you find a common ground, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I like it when people tell me how they see stuff because I have a way that I see it and perceive it, and then I understand it my way. And then somebody else will see it and they'll give me a different perspective. And I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes what that does is it gets you to see things like, you know what?
I missed that.
Hey, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong on this one. We don't want to ever admit we're wrong, but I just, I've been in situations where somebody showed me the truth, which I believe my truth was the real truth, and found out, no, it really isn't that way. Um, that happens, and that's a good thing. But I've convinced people the other way too. Like, you know what? You're right. I never thought of it like that. I
Mm-hmm.
never seen it. Because a lot of times we're programmed how to think and believe. And a lot of times we have such biases on our beliefs that sometimes we shut certain things out. You don't have to change your whole belief system,
Well,
but
but
you,
am I wrong for shutting Becky out of romantic connections?
no, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, I
Uh,
just had to throw that in there.
yeah,
I don't want to
no,
go bowling for Becky no more.
yeah, no, you don't have to go bowling for Becky's.
Nope.
Uh,
Sorry, that's just me.
bowling for, you know what?
Hey, you
Funny,
started that. That came from
I
you. I'm not
did.
taking credit for that.
Hey, I came up with that bowling for Becky's, and
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says "Bowling for Becky's," and
Oh, well, you better put Taylor Swift on there because that crowd needs to buy those shirts.
right, right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Taylor Swift and put "Bowling for Becky." I'll make a fortune. Hey, all right, I need to go. Hey, Corey, I need to go to those SYSBM channels, the Save Yourself Black Men channels that love white women, and I need to. I need. You know what? I could probably get them to buy some T-shirts off me. Put
Oh yeah,
bowling for Becky's.
yeah. Mark
Uh,
them up and say it's a 2-for-1 special.
right. I could have the other one crapping out for Karen. Uh,
Mm.
macking down for Mailing.
We
Oh
could
man,
we
I,
could
I
come
got
up
it
with an
all.
entire product line of this stuff.
And then I could have, hey, I could have a cookbook,
Raisin,
baking
raisins.
baking for Becky.
Don't
you know,
forget about the raisins.
oh God, yes. Oh, you know what? I can get my Aunt Betty's cookbook, and oh my, I can make a fortune. All those casserole
Oh yeah, bring it on.
recipes. Oh
Mm.
man, and,
Mm,
and you
mm,
ought,
mm.
you ought to see her spice cabinet. Hey, she has salt, pepper, brown sugar, and mayonnaise. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
I
you're
could
gonna
tell
get in
people.
trouble for this one. They're gonna blackball you for this one.
Hey, I could tell them how to make a good tuna melt, a
Oh,
tofu salad.
well,
Uh,
you need to take those recipes and put them on the back of the shirt and put bowling for Becky on the front.
oh yeah,
Yeah, because you got the instruction manual on the back, and
right,
then you got the advertisement on the front.
right. I think that'd be a hot seller. Yeah,
Yeah. Then you just change the recipe on the back of the shirt for the different product.
yeah.
Hey.
And you know what? I could get the swirling world in all areas. And in our area, I could put invest in the black woman. Hey, that would be a good shirt. And
Oh, I still think about the couple that was at Costco a few weeks back. I come walking by, and it was a white husband and a black wife, and they
uh,
were both styling pretty good for the area I live in. I think
uh,
y'all look adorable. And first thing he did was he got offended because he didn't hear me correct because my voice it's kind of low and rumbly, especially if
uh,
it's noisy out. And so I kind of had to bring up my phone voice a little bit. And I said, y'all are adorable. And he goes, hey, man, thank you. I'm like, absolutely. I didn't hang around, or nothing. But what I should
Yeah.
have did was ask him where he takes his wife to get her hair done, because I need to know that for in the future.
Right. Hey, I
That's
can.
the one question I failed to ask him. Was like, where do you take your wife so she gets her hair done? That was the one thing I missed. I thought, what I should have did later on showed up. Maybe I'll run into him again. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you gotta know the hairstyles and stuff, and
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
a white guy.
What,
Just bar soap
what,
and water.
no, no, don't spread that stereotype, because they're already thinking we don't use washcloths or brushes or I saw some lady, yeah, and white people, they just wash from the elbows down and they're good. And I'm like, who are these white people? That I know some stereotypes are true, like the raisins in the tuna casserole and stuff. That is weird. That is true. But the washcloth, no, that ain't true. Not in my family. Maybe I'm the weird white family. I don't know, but
No, they got one called Falcon's Nest. It's cottage cheese, coconut shavings, and green jello.
oh yeah, that's always a hit. Yeah.
That is dessert.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be
Yeah,
really good. It'll go really good on the back of a t-shirt.
right. And I could teach these guys that are in the white women how to whip up a quiche and really impress her. And
Mm.
and here's the thing, you gotta, and if there's black men that are into white women, they're listening, this is good information. And I'm giving it to
Hey,
you free now,
take
for
notes.
for
Yeah, we're
now.
helping you out.
Yeah, for free now. Okay, later on it's going to cost. Okay, but this is good information. And
Yeah, the complete cookbook is be on the Patreon.
right, I could sell the cook. And what type of mayonnaise? Here's the key.
Oh yes, oh yes.
This could get you in trouble, because if she's a Miracle Whip woman or a real mayonnaise woman, you can't mess this up. This can, oh my God,
Mm.
yeah, that's not good. And I can help them with that. And
Hmm.
you know, and learn how to swim, because white women love to swim just like white men. That's something we like to do. Um, and if she's a tomboy type, she's probably likes NASCAR. And that's a stereotype that's true. I love NASCAR. I watch it all the time.
Brett,
Um,
read the chat.
Tyrone,
Tyrone's gonna
Tyrone
make
going to
Becky
make
buy the
Becky buy
groceries.
yeah. Well, that's probably the safe bet, because she'll know what she wants. You mess up, that could be, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Don't mess up the mayonnaise. Don't. Oh my God. And then you gotta understand, is she a health food Becky or a junk food Becky? There's different types.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The health food Becky, you gotta, you don't have to shop at Whole Foods and buy a lot of tofu. Um, she likes tofu. She likes eating quiche. Um, what's another thing? It's been a while, because I've been married to my wife for 31, so I kind of forget those old recipes I forgot about, that
Yeah,
I
there's
that bring
faded
nightmares to
memories at
me.
this point,
Uh,
huh?
yeah, I never had a weight problem until I got married. So yeah, because I finally ate good.
Oh.
No, but all seriousness, all white people aren't like that. I got people in my family that cook very good. Okay, I just like playing on the stereotypes. It's just funny. But some stereotypes are true. Like NASCAR, I love NASCAR. Yes,
Mm.
I love hockey. Yes. I love rodeos. Yes. I love country music. Yes. I like R&B music too. You know, but a lot of white stuff things I like. You
Mhm.
know, I like fishing and rock climbing and stuff. And I know this fat guy does repel off rocks. I can do it. I do crazy white people stuff. Okay, um, I'll
Yep.
jump off a bungee cord out of a plane. It don't matter.
I did a crazy white thing. I married a white girl.
Well, I won't do that.
Yeah, okay.
I only go so far. Okay, Corey. There's some things I just
Well,
there's certain things I won't do.
I did repent of my mistake. I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, but still, I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah.
Man, yeah, my son. He's young. He's in the military, but he told me he went up to New York from where he's stationed at from Fort Bragg and spent the weekend with a lady from Jamaica. It's just like he's never been to New York. And he's
Mm,
like, "Oh, this place is crowded, Dad." I was laughing,
yeah.
but he only dates black women. And he's young and single and in the military, so he does what he does. But
Well, he's smart. He's choosing right.
he is, I think so.
Yeah. So white people in the South eat just like black. They do. They eat soul food. Yeah. That
Mm,
and that's a misconception that only black people eat that. Yeah, that's true.
mm.
Um, Now white people where I live don't eat that. We eat Mexican food because um, New Mexico, makes sense. But
Oh yeah, you're surrounded by it.
yeah, but it's good. I love it. I love Mexican food, and my
Hmm.
my wife loves it too, and she knows how to make it really good. And you
Yeah, you
know,
just got to stay away from those breakfast burritos. Who in their right mind would make a breakfast burrito so big? You eat that thing and you just go back to sleep. Like
right,
this isn't breakfast. This is like lunch.
right. There's a place I go and I get a breakfast burrito, and it lasts me like all
Yeah,
day. I don't even have to buy lunch. I
you
mean,
can
this thing's
easily go
so
6
big.
hours.
It's like, and sometimes I still have some left over when I'm driving home from work. I'm like, how did
Mm,
this?
these are huge. They're
Just
massive.
stuff them, yeah. Well, with eggs and ham and whatever you want in it, and the green chili and the
Yeah, you're
cheese.
not going to go hungry. Mm-mm,
Yeah.
not at
Oh
all.
yeah.
Well, hey, you've been on here 3 hours. I don't want to keep you from
Oh gosh, have
your
we?
lovely wife. I want to get off of here.
Okay. Hockey is Nikki's favorite sport. Mine too. I love hockey.
Well, thank you for having me up here, brother. I'm going to drive
Oh,
off.
thanks so much, Corey. Good to see you, brother. You take care out there
Okay, you too.
in the great Northwest up there.
It is beautiful over here. I do
Oh,
like
it
it.
is. Yeah.
A little bit crazy up north, but I'm not up there.
Yeah. But I mean, a fun place though.
Hmm. Okay. Good night.
All right. Thanks. Have a good night, Corey. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. It's been a little late tonight, and I know we got off the rails, and that's okay because we talk about whatever we want to up here, and we love it. And if you guys whenever you guys come on the panel, if you want to drift a bit, that's perfectly fine. I don't make people stay in the subject. No, I don't do that. If you want to talk about whatever, as long as we're having fun, that's what it's all about. And you know what? And our topic tonight, low birth rates in the white community. We know that's happening. It's happening in the black community, the brown community. Everybody's having low birth rates. Okay. Um, Now I don't sit around worrying about it like, oh my God, people are disappearing. No, I just think we need to do better as men. And before we can get the population back up, if I think we'd be better off with a bigger population. But if we're going to get there, we got to do it the right way. We got to start with the men. Men need to learn how to lead and learn how to take accountability and stop blaming women. Okay? We got to fix ourselves before we can hold anybody accountable. And it starts with us as men in our nation. If we're going, we could complain about how bad America's been and all this stuff, or we can make America great. Okay, I don't. I'm not trying to sound, guys. You know, I'm not trying to sound like a Trump supporter here, but I'm just saying we need to make our home better. Okay, and it starts with us. And we need to come together for love and survival. It's no longer about race no more. That's gone away, whether people like it or not. Okay? We need to come together and we need to be with people that love us and respect us, people that we love and respect. Go where you're loved and celebrated. Okay? That's what we need in life. We need true love. We need to be with somebody that shares our values. Okay? Someone we love that loves us back. And you're going to find that that comes in different colors at times. Some of us are meant to open up our options and to marry outside of our group. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with if you marry within your group either. Okay? It's not wrong. The only time it's wrong is when you get with the wrong person and you lower your standards and ignore red flags. Okay? But we need to come together. Okay? We need to start building families, and it starts with a good marriage. Okay? And if we're going to build our society, uh, we need to start there. Now, if we want the birth rates to go up, we're going to have to make life more livable. We're going to have to make it to where we can live and have enough and not be pinching pennies just to barely make it. It will take a societal shift to get our birth rates up the way they used to be. Because today's society, most people can't afford to have that many children. Most people only have one or two because things are so expensive. Okay, and I'm not against anybody making good money. We got to make good money, but we got to be reasonable. Um, I think our problem with society a lot of times, especially the medical end, think where our cost is going so high. I think it's the insurance companies. Um, and a lot of times when the government subsidizes these companies, it drives up the prices. Just like education. Education's so expensive because these universities can raise their prices and the government subsidizes it all the time, millions of dollars. Okay? And I'm not against the government helping people out. I'm not at all. But sometimes when the government tries to help, it ends up hurting us. Okay? And, I just pray that we could get better and be more efficient as a nation where we can have more wealth. Okay? And earn our wealth, not have the government give us free stuff. I want us as people to earn our own way. But we need, a reasonable environment. We need jobs that pay decent so we can live decent. Okay. But anyway, but I do believe most of the birth rate problem is economic and men not doing right. Okay. A lot of women don't want to get married to us men. You know why? Because we done them wrong. You know why? We took them for granted. You know why? We weren't real men. You know why? We blame them for our problems. You know why? As men, we didn't take accountability. So now we're reaping what we sow. Okay? Our chickens are coming home to roost and it's not feeling too good. And we failed women because we're not real men. We need to wake up and fix it. Okay? That's number one. Number one, men need to be men and have character and stand your ground for your beliefs. Okay? And take care of your wives and family. And we need to stop hooking up and start getting married. Okay? Hookup culture is a disaster that's crushing our nation. A lot of heartbreak, a lot of out of wedlock birth rates, okay? A lot of poverty. It's not good. And it's our fault as men. Instead of trying to hook up, how about we look for a wife and build our own family? How about that? And here in America, we need to do right as men. We need to put the women and children first. Okay? The woman is the treasure, she is the prize. Once you figure that out and you understand it's your job to provide and protect for her, and that means sacrificing for her. And us as men, guess what? We're expendable. Okay? We always have been all through history. Not saying our value is we don't have value. We do. A good man has a lot of value, but we're expendable. Why? Because we're designed to protect our family. Because the family is more important than us when you break it down. But to have that family, you need a good man. So it goes hand in hand. Okay? But anyway, you guys have a good night, and I pray to God for our nation. I would like to see, you know, our numbers increase, birth rates go up. I want to see more babies being born in good families, not just babies being born out of carelessness, but babies being born into good families. I'd like to see more babies, okay? It would help our nation. It would help our workforce, right? And I know they've been talking about this, and people will probably say, yeah, he just wants white babies. No, no, no. I want white babies, black babies, Hispanic babies, Asian babies. You know, I want to see good families in all groups. Interracial babies, you know, I just, you know, when the Bible says we need to be fruitful and multiply, we do, but we need to do it the right way through love and marriage. Okay? We kind of lost our way for that mighty dollar. A lot of times we don't have kids because we worship the dollar. We'd rather be wealthy than have a family. That's a lot of people. But anyway, enough talking about that. You guys have a good night. Corey, thank you, brother, for coming up. Alexander, good to see you, brother. Ladies, good to see you here tonight. I thank you for watching this channel. I thank you for your love and support. I love you guys. This panel is for you. And if you see anything you think I could do better, send me an email. Okay? If there's some idea you want to see, you let me know. Okay? I just go off what I think would be something good to talk about. Or something I think you might want to hear, but I could be wrong. Sometimes I do a show and people really ain't into it. Sometimes I do a show and people are like, yeah, yeah. You know, this is your channel as much as it is mine. Okay? I'm just like the CEO here. And if you don't like me, I get fired, right? My channel goes away. If you like me, it continues. Okay? But anyway, ever since I've been doing YouTube, you guys have been a blessing. Okay, you guys have uplifted me, my wife. You have been amazing. and I love you guys. And here after the holidays, I'm gonna have Sandy come up and do a show. I talked to her, and she said, "Yeah, she'll do one with me, and I'll have my wife on, and we'll talk. Um, you know, and we'll have a good time." And I know people were asking me, "Where's Sandy? We haven't seen Sandy in a while." Well, Sandy's busy and doing her thing, and you know, I love having my wife up here, but sometimes with people and being mean and rude, I kind of keep my wife shielded a bit. You know, but anyway, guys, I love you guys. You guys are a blessing to me. Thank you so much. Okay. And I don't take you for granted because I know if I go off the rails and start doing wrong things, I will lose people. I will lose this channel. I know that. Okay. And I don't want to do that. I never come on here wanting to offend anybody. Okay. But but in the, but with that being said, I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to tell you what you want to hear and lie to you on my beliefs because I think you believe this way. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I will respect you for your beliefs. But I want to be honest. I want you to know who I am. Okay. And I want you to know how I believe. And I believe in, you know, having credibility. Okay. I believe that's important. You want the real thing, right? If I talk about interracial marriage, you want a man that's been interracially married, right? You don't want some white guy that just doing it to get clicks and views and thinks it's, trendy. You want the real deal, right? I want to be that real deal. Okay. And and sometimes that hurts my channel, to be honest, and that's okay. I'd rather be with people that love me, that are with me, that understand where I'm coming from, understand my heart. Okay, they don't have to agree with me, but I'd rather be with people that love me, not those that only hear when I'm saying the right thing. You know what I'm saying? No, anyway, enough of that. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Without you, this don't exist. Okay, but I love you too. Whether I got 100 people watching or 3 people watching, I'll do it. I love it. Okay. Um, and I hope I can be a blessing to you. I hope that I can be there to uplift you and make you feel good. Okay. And I want black women to know how beautiful and amazing they are. And I want you to know how much black women have improved my life. For from black women, their character and setting an amazing example and seeing the true beauty in black women. I want you to know about that. Okay. But anyway, guys, I love you guys. You have a good night. God bless you and your family. And let me say a prayer real quick. Lord, thank you so much for allowing me to come up and do this show. Thank you so much for the people that have shown me love, me and my wife love, and I appreciate it, Lord. And I pray you bless everybody here tonight. And let them know that I don't take them for granted, Lord, and let them know how beautiful and amazing they are, Lord. And please help us, Lord, those of us that are in love with somebody that has a different skin tone, that we can have the courage to love that person that loves us, that we can have the courage to see beauty beyond color and see somebody's true heart, Lord, and that we can be a blessing, Lord. I just pray that you give us the courage to move forward and to love each other without the fear of being made fun of or the fear of being attacked, that we could be bold with our love. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Uh, yeah. What's that? I believe the creator of the universe wants birth rates to decline globally. That's why it's declining, especially in Western countries, part of Asia. Well, I don't know, maybe. I just know the Bible says be fruitful and multiply. But I think God wants us to do it responsibly. Um, but who knows? Maybe we got to get our population down so we can get right before it goes back up. Or I don't know. I just think our population's down because we're not right. We lost our way with our morality, and and most of all, it's us men that need to take accountability and fix it if we're ever going to make it work. But anyway, you guys have a good night. God bless. I'll see you guys next Saturday. I want to be heavy working this week, so I probably not going to put up nothing till next Saturday. Okay, but anyway, I will be up here next Saturday though. I won't miss out on that. Okay, but good night. You guys have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you next Saturday. Have a good night. God bless.